pay your respects?
We were very lucky because when we came in, they were doing the changing of the guard. So we had a good amount of time in the hall, and that was beautiful and very moving to see that happen. But no, it didn't feel hurried, and the staff have just been the whole way across the line so friendly. All the volunteers, everyone's just been really, really kind. It's been an amazing experience.
Now, there were warnings queues could be for 30 hours. I think you started at 4 a.m. this morning, so that's only, what, 5 or 6?
We got to the back of the line at 4:30.
Yes.
And everyone we met was just incredibly kind. So it was a lovely experience. It didn't get too cold. We're lucky it didn't rain. But yeah, we were lucky. We were through in about 6 hours.
Amazing. And I suppose the big question, you've been queuing all that time. What do you want to do now?
Well, yeah, it's a good question. I need to go back to work, but to continue to remember how wonderful she was and continue to be grateful for her life, and to, I think, thank the British. I mean, we all came together. It feels like humanity at its best, and everyone was so helpful in the queue, and we met some great people, and everyone was there for the same reason. So yeah, it was a very special experience.
And I suppose a moment in history, one you'll remember?
Definitely, and one that actually we know a lot of our family members took photos of us sort of going through it. And it feels very, very special to have that memento and to have actually just had that opportunity. I feel very privileged. And it's nice to be able to also do it with a nice friend and go through it.
Thank you so much indeed, guys, for joining us.
You.
Have a great rest of your day. Thank you. It's interesting, there's a sense here, I almost expected when I arrived for there to be huge crowds, quite a chaotic scene. What's remarkable about the atmosphere down here in the square, it's very, very peaceful. It's calm. It seems remarkably well organised and quite appropriate given the occasion that we're here to mark.
Indeed. Tom, thanks very much indeed. And yes, it's interesting that people are so calm and measured because they've been in a queue for a very long time. Let's take a look now at the current length of that queue to get into Westminster Hall. And you can see there that the queue is approximately 3 miles long at the moment. And the nearest landmark is HMS Belfast, according to that official tracker. And our own Shaman Freeman-Powell is actually near the back of the queue. And Shaman, just how far back are you? Give us an idea of where you are and how people are feeling about the queue ahead of them.
Well, I'm trying to get to the back of the queue. I've actually been chasing it all morning because as soon as I feel like we're almost there, the queue keeps on growing. But it is moving very quickly. Initially, we were told that the people towards the back of this queue could be waiting for around 9 or 10 hours to be able to see the Queen lying in state today. However, we have now been told that it's looking more like 5 hours. But it is still an awfully long time to wait for a few precious seconds to be able to spend with the Queen. But they are precious indeed, and that's why lots of people have travelled from far and wide to do just that. In fact, I picked up someone's flat vows from Nottingham just moments ago. Hello, Ian.
Hello,
Good morning. You travelled all the way from Nottingham, haven't you, today? Tell me why you wanted to do that.
To pay my respects to Her Majesty the Queen.
It's a long way.
I'm a veteran. Other people in the queues are veterans. Some people can't get down here. So I'm here for myself, I'm here for the family, and I'm here for other people that can't make it. And other veterans, more important, I think.
And tell me a little bit about that, because the Queen was a very special woman to a lot of people, but especially for people that have served. Explain how you feel about that.
Well, she's the boss, really. I mean, I've served in the military twice, and I've been a police officer. I've sworn the oath of allegiance 3 times. It's not something you do lightly, and you don't end when your military service finishes. Well, for me personally, anyway, it doesn't. It goes through to my service finishes, just like the Queen's, and that's why I'm here.
And in a few hours' time, you'll be able to have a very special moment a little bit later on. Tell me the things, I know it's hard to predict, but tell me what you think may be going through your mind.
I've got no idea. Swirl of emotions, isn't it? Swirl of emotion.
Is it? It's quite emotional for you.
For me, yes. I'll stand there, I'll look. Bow.
I'm sorry, it's hard to come to terms with, isn't it? But I can tell just how much she clearly meant to you.
Yeah, I mean, I never met her. I don't know from Adam, apart from what's on TV, but, you know, she's a figurehead of the nation, of the military and of the forces, and it's my turn to pay respects, and that's what's happening. That's why I travel.
Thank you, and thank you so much for sharing that with me. I really appreciate it. And that is a sentiment that lots of people in the queue share. Actually, Ian, when I first spoke to him, he was quite chirpy, he was making jokes, but look, you ask him about why this moment means so much, and he chokes, because for him, it does mean an awful lot. This is a moment in history that these people will be able to witness.
Shaman, thanks very much indeed. Yeah, a real emotional experience for a lot of people who are joining that queue to have their moment in Westminster Hall. Let's talk to some more people down there in Westminster. Samantha Washington is there with them. Morning to you, Sam.
Yes, good morning to you, Anna. I'm here at Victoria Tower Gardens. It's really just a stone's throw from Westminster Hall. People have already been queuing for hours here, and now the moment that they've been waiting for is within touching distance. There's still some zigzag of a queue here that you can see, still some security to get through, but we're standing here really under the shadows there of Westminster Hall, and I've been able to chat to people in the queue. It's very orderly, as you can see, very quiet. People are making conversation amongst themselves, people that they didn't know before joining this queue, but it is all very, very orderly. People still rather solemn, but those hours melting away to really just minutes left, perhaps about half an hour from this point until they get into Westminster Hall to be able to pay their respects. And I'm joined here now by three people that I've only been speaking to for the last few minutes. We have Susan, good morning. We have Cheryl as well, and we have Gary here. Susan, you were telling me that you've come quite a distance this morning.
Yes, I've come from near Spalding in Lincolnshire. We drove down, got the very first tube that we could.
And what time did you set off?
2:45.
Goodness. And what made you want to come?
I just wanted to pay my respects, really. A few hours of my time is nothing compared to 70 years of service.
So you're an admirer of Her Majesty?
Yes, certainly. You know, she works hard. And actually, they bring a lot of income to the country. You know, it fills the coffers, doesn't it?
And Gary, you're obviously a military man.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to come?
Well, I've been a public servant now for 34 years. When I retired from the police in 2015, the Queen is my boss basically for that period. So that's why I wanted to come and pay my respects.
And where have you come from this morning?
I've come from Leicestershire, set off at 3 o'clock this morning, and been queuing since 6:10.
It's very orderly here, isn't it? And I know you three didn't know each other, but you do now, don't you? And Cheryl, where have you come from this morning?
From South Woodford this morning. So again, set off about 5 o'clock, started queuing just after 6 and here now to pay respects, but not just for me, for everyone that can't come in my family. And the Queen was superbly representative of everything good.
That's interesting. So you're coming to represent those who can't.
Not everyone can come, and yeah, really to do that.
And Gary, you're talking about obviously Her Majesty was your boss. Have you thought about what's going to go through your mind, or what you might say when you're in the Great Hall?
Well, I've only known the Queen obviously for the whole of my life. It's very emotional to see her obviously in the position. It's not nice for us to be all sort of mourning her death, and it's going to be very, very emotional.
And now you have a new boss, King Charles III.
Yeah. I think he's made an excellent start to his reign. The speeches that he's made have been really heartfelt, so I'm sure he'll do a really good job, but he's got a hard act to follow in the Queen.
And Susan, have you thought about what go through your mind, or what you might like to say privately when you're in Westminster Hall?
I'd just like to say thank you for your service, you know, your dedication. She's given up everything, you know. She's worked where we would phone in sick and say, I don't want to go to work. She would never do that. She just turned up with a smile every single time.
Yeah, people say they don't make them like that anymore, do they? Well, listen, thank you very much, all three of you, for talking to us. I know you didn't know each other before, but you do now. You've got some new friends, and thank you very much. And you won't lose your place in the queue. They'll put you back where we found you, but do appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Indeed. Well, there you have it. And three people come from all over the country to come down here to pay their respects. As I was saying, all very orderly, all very camaraderie here is very evident. People who didn't know each other, all making friends. But it's not just people coming to witness this moment of history today. It's also businesses along the route have been operating extended hours so that people in the queue can get refreshments and, of course, all importantly, use the facilities as well. Aisha Zahid is with some of those businesses. Over to you, Aisha.
We're here on the South Bank. Many people gathered here. It's taking a bit longer. This morning, people were reaching this point within about half an hour. Now it's about an hour and a half, but they've got facilities available around here. The Globe Theatre we're just next to has extended its hours. It's offering toilets and refreshments to those waiting. We've also had the Faith Chaplaincy team pass by in the last half an hour or so, checking in on people, making sure they're feeling well. If they want to say prayers, they're helping with that. They're there to support people. If we take a wander down this way, we should be able to speak to some people who are queuing up today. Hi there, sorry to interrupt you guys. We're live on Sky News. Could we ask you, first of all, how long have you been waiting so far today?
Oh, not that long, about an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, about an hour and 10 minutes.
It's nice, steady movement, so
yeah.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah. Where did you join the queue from?
Just past London Bridge.
Yeah, just on the other side, so
other side of London Bridge.
Yeah. And why was it so important for you to come down today to pay your respects?
Well,
she's been a part of our lives, you know, ever since I was born, and you know,
I remember the coronation, and she's just to be admired for the life she's led. She's sort of given up everything for her country, and you've got to admire that. Really feel strongly about that. Yeah.
And over the last couple of days, people have been sharing their fondest memories. I mean, what are kind of the standout moments for you two?
Well, for me, it's just that she's always been in the background. I mean, I'm not a huge royalist or anything, but she is so steadfast. She's always been there, important occasions, and she's just given her life for her country, really.
Yeah, she's just always been there. So it's just wanted to come along and pay our respects. You know, had a chance to do it, so we grabbed the opportunity, didn't we?
Very important to show our strength of feeling.
Yeah.
And everyone seems quite chirpy here in the queue. Of course, as we get closer and closer to Westminster Hall, the mood will most likely change. How do you think you'll feel as you get closer and when you see the coffin?
Very, very emotional.
I think so, yeah, completely. Yeah.
When I heard the news, I was really surprised at my reaction, because I started crying immediately, because you don't realise how deeply you think about these things. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it will be really, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
and have you thought about what you'd kind of like to say in your head, or what you'd like to do when you see the coffin?
Just reflect a moment and just to say thank you.
Yeah,
and we do appreciate what she's given up for us.
Yeah, her whole life was dedicated to us. And to thank her for that, and the family, and to show our respects.
And also from our family, you know, we're representing
our family,
a lot of other people as well. So although there's a huge amount of people here, there's lots of others at home that couldn't manage to come. So we're there for our family anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for chatting to us. I'll let you enjoy the queue. That's a sentiment that is shared by many people here, people visiting on behalf of other family members as well. If we carry on moving down the queue, we should hopefully be able to chat to someone else. Hello, hi. We're live on Sky News. First of all, could we ask you where you've come down from today to be a part of this moment?
I come from Farnham in Surrey, so my son here has come from Coventry, so a bit further.
Hello, sorry.
So why was it important for you two to come down together today to pay your respects?
I just think she's been like godmother to the nation, really. Has served the country and, acted, prayerfully and dedicated to the country. And I think we miss her. We're poorer without her, I think.
I just amazing lady, and I just want to pay my respects to her and her family. So our condolences to them. But it's just like, as you say, godmother of the whole country, really.
And what's the atmosphere been like queuing up so far?
A sense of thankfulness, I think, that it's not been particularly morose, because I think when she was 96, you know, she'd had a good innings, so to speak, and I think it's a celebration of her life, that she lived a life well lived.
And we'll carry on walking. I don't want you to lose your face in the queue. When it gets to that moment, how do you think you might feel?
I think sadness. I read out some prayers on Sunday, and I was in tears as I read them out and at church, so I think there's going to be tears to our eyes, but I think it feels an honour to come, you know, a privilege really, because she served us well, I think is what I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you think you might feel?
I don't know. I was more sad than I thought I would be when I heard of her death, so I think it'll be moving, but yeah, I'll see when I get there really.
Yeah. And that's a sentiment that we've seen kind of over the last couple of days, just how much the Queen touched the younger generations. I mean, what do you think about the impact she's had?
Yeah, I think she's been a force of stability and unity when there's obviously been lots of, well, a lack of that in the rest of the world. She's been the one thing that stayed the same the whole of my lifetime, the whole of your lifetime, and yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's a bit of a shock that she's not here anymore.
Well, I'll let you carry on moving on in the queue. Thank you very much for chatting. So people lining up here, people queuing an hour, just over an hour, but they've got a couple more hours ahead before they reach Westminster Hall.
Part of the queue here. We're really in the shadows of Westminster Hall, so this is where all the hours that people have waited for is really melting down to just a touching distance away from being able to go in and pay their respects here. It's quite fast moving, as you can see. It's moving quicker than police and security expected. A strong security presence here, as you might expect, although it's very, very orderly. And it should also say that other than security and people who've come to pay their respects, there are also thousands of volunteers who have manned along the route to provide assistance for anybody who might need it. Sky's Sadia Chowdhury is with St John Ambulance.
We're on the south side of the river, just by the Lambeth Bridge part of the queue, and throughout the morning we've seen people, thousands of people, crossing that bridge on their way to Westminster. Many of them with woolly hats and warm clothes because it is a bit chilly here, but also carrying heavy bags, presumably well equipped for this long wait that they have to go through. And if they do need medical assistance, they might encounter these guys from St John Ambulance. We've got James and Mustafa here with us this morning. Thank you very much for speaking to us, James. Have you been busy?
Thankfully, not so much. We've had a few incidents overnight, but thankfully nobody that needed a lot of care, which is good news.
And what kind of things are you expecting to see? Injuries, exhaustion, what's happening?
I think more exhaustion. I don't think there'll be too many injuries over the next coming days, but there will be people that have been standing for a very long time, people that maybe need some extra help or that have forgotten to bring their medications and that. So the news is to keep hydrated, bring your medicines and look after each other.
And talk to us about your team. How many people are involved? How many people are on bikes?
Of course, so at the moment we've got 4 bikes out today, so we work in pairs. So myself and Mustafa are a pair today and we'll be working together. Over the coming days we'll be doing 1,100 volunteer hours for St John for the cycle response unit alone. And we've got a lot of volunteers out covering ambulances and treatment centres. And I'd like to say a big thank you to all those St John people who are out there giving up their spare time, so thank you.
Excellent. Mustafa, just talk us through your kit, because earlier you were telling us that you might find a lot of this stuff in an ambulance.
Yeah, so we carry a lot of kit, a huge variety of it, and it's essentially a condensed version of what you would find on an ambulance, from basic life support, observation equipment, down to plasters, dressings, and medical gases. So we carry oxygen and Entonox and pain relief, right up to advanced life care support from James, and James has his own paramedic-specific equipment. So between both of us, we can manage a huge variety of conditions and issues and problems.
Excellent. And for people who are thinking of joining the queue, watching at home, thinking of coming to join the queue, what should they be aware of?
So if you're joining a queue, hopefully you've got some comfortable footwear, but do bring some water, do bring some snacks with you, something that can help you last. It's going to be a long queue. You will get to the front in typical British fashion. We love to queue, but take care of yourself, moderate the pace, and if you can, sit down, find somewhere to sit down and take a few moments for yourself.
Excellent. Just keep walking and moving around so you get that circulation going, I suppose.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. Well, there are still thousands of people, and queue is expected to get longer and longer, up to 10 miles in when you include the part of the queue that's in the park. And the hope is very much that these paramedics at least won't encounter any of those people.
Thank you very much, Sadia. Well, we're here in Victoria Tower Gardens. This is the final furlong for people who've got up very early this morning to come and pay their respects. 350,000 people are expected. You can see behind me that the queue is moving a lot faster than anticipated, and we're hearing from people that are coming past that they began queuing some 4 hours ago. So perhaps the fact that people are allowed to process along both sides of the coffin inside Westminster Hall is helping things speed along. All very orderly here. People at this point just getting ready, really thinking about what they might be thinking, what they might want to say when they process past the coffin of Her Majesty the Queen. Back to Anna now at Buckingham Palace.
Sam, thanks very much indeed. Yes, once they get to Sam, they're really getting quite close to that moment. And let's show you now the pictures from inside Westminster Hall, where they're all heading. This, of course, where people are getting their chance to remember the monarch, give thanks, have a moment of thought ahead of her state funeral on Monday in that extraordinary setting of Westminster Hall, the oldest building in Parliament, which dates back to the 11th century. And you can see the Queen's oak coffin raised on that platform. It's called a catafalque in the centre of the hall, and the vigil being constantly kept there by officers of the Household Division and the King's bodyguards, doing a vigil of 6 hours divided into 20-minute watches. So let's bring in our royal correspondent, Laura Bundock, now. And as those people have their moment there in Westminster Hall, paying tribute to the Queen, it's so interesting, isn't it, listening to those people in the queues, coming for lots of different reasons, some of them really quite emotional, some of them wanting just to witness a moment in history.
Yeah, it is interesting. And there's lots of servicemen and women in the queue, which you can understand. And we've seen lots of people feeling very choked because obviously their commander-in-chief, they had that particular relationship. But then there are also people who I think probably wouldn't call themselves staunch supporters of the royal family, maybe not the sort of people who'd even come and watch Trooping the Colour, for example, but people who have surprised themselves by the amount of sadness they felt and just wanted to be here to say thank you in their own special way, and wanted that moment of silence inside Westminster Hall. And I think that's what's interesting. People who perhaps didn't realise they were going to feel like this and just thought, actually, I'll queue up. It is a moment, and it is a moment of history, and I want to bear witness to that moment. But it's amazing the range of ages as well. Late last night, there was a babe in arms, a tiny, tiny little baby, probably the youngest to walk past the coffin, being held by her mum, who I imagine had rather aching arms at that point.
Yes, probably the only person that had any sleep in that queue.
But children as well today, interestingly. And the queue is moving fairly quickly, actually. We were told it would move fast to enable as many people as possible to have the opportunity to walk past. And I think we're certainly seeing that, although it does grow and grow and grow at the back. But it is a remarkable scene still. And when you get to that moment inside Westminster Hall, I'm fascinated just looking at how people sort of mark the moment, because it is a very brief moment. As I say, the queue moves quickly, but some people bowing their heads, others looking. It was interesting in that split second, after all the chatter and perhaps the merriment to some extent in that crowd, in the crowds, in the queues, what happens when you get into the hall, because it's an austere building, isn't it? You step inside, and I love looking at what one of the expressions on people's faces.
That's right. An extraordinary building, kind of breathtaking, almost literally. Lots of people say they gasp when they actually walk in. And Today feels like it's the public's day, really, doesn't it? We've seen the Queen's coffin moving down to London, having a night at Buckingham Palace, where we are now, you know, with the family. And it feels like the family then took her coffin to Westminster Hall and said to the people, now's your chance to say goodbye.
Yeah, I think that's what made the procession yesterday feel even more poignant, that it was the very last time the Queen would leave Buckingham Palace. And that procession now felt like it was King Charles following the coffin of his mother and leading the nation and his family's grief as they hand the Queen back to the people so they can have this moment of lying in state. And it was the atmosphere was incredible, I think, just the significance of that moment. But they did have that, I think, what probably would have been a really important private moment. I think anyone who's lost a loved one, we don't have any of this playing out in public like this. We don't have those big, important moments going on. We have those significant meetings with members of our family, but I'm sure the family would have really appreciated that quiet evening at Buckingham Palace when the Queen came home for the last time.
Because that's a reminder, isn't it, that not only is the King grieving his mother, but he's also taking on all these new responsibilities. And while the public file past his mother's coffin today, he's actually got a day away from the cameras, hasn't he, without any official duties?
Yeah, he's back at Highgrove, which is his private home. And this was always factored into his schedule, so everything had been planned meticulously, but there was going to be this moment where I think after day after day after day of so many firsts, he would have wanted and appreciated the need just to have some quiet time. The red boxes won't stop coming, that carries on, but there will be at least a chance away from the cameras, away from the crowds, for him perhaps to sit down and just take it all in, because what a few days it has been for him, incredibly busy in terms of the engagements, the number of people he's met, members of the public he's met, the sort of dignitaries he's hosted here at Buckingham Palace in Scotland and Northern Ireland, of course, in Wales tomorrow as well. So I think time just to relax, and I don't think anyone could forgive him a day of just sitting back, just taking stock on what's happened.
Absolutely, and a few other members of the family will be carrying out a few duties today, and we can catch up on those a little bit later on, but for the moment, Laura, thanks very much indeed. So let's take a look then at the current length of the queue to get into Westminster Hall. In case you're considering a trip yourself, we can see that the queue at the moment is approximately 3 miles long, 3.1 miles, so it's grown very, very slightly since.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur, and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.worldlamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@worldlamp@gmail.com. World Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghanaman Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness.
So what did that?
I felt and the wilding of just.
And 2019,
forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi, guys.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Are you ready to turn it up?
The best radio show.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile. If you just... Hey, this is Archie and you're listening to Starr Radio UK and The Morning Show. And The Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio UK.
This is Starr
Radio UK.
This is Starr Radio
UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Father to child, spirit to spirit, I'm lighted by your word. And with your breath of life, that's how I come alive.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Change my world. If you know it, you can join us and let's sing this to Jesus. It says, Father to child, from your spirit to my spirit, I'm lighted by your word. And with your breath of life, that's how I come alive. Yes, that's how I change my world. So I say, just breathe your name upon me. Breathe. Just breathe your name upon me. Your hair, what hair is on me. Breathe, Lord. Just breathe your name upon me. Breathe.
Okay, let me say a massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be this morning listening to us on Starr Radio UK.
Lighted by your word. It says, with your breath of life, Jesus.
Today is the 15th day of September, the year 2022, with the time now 10:42 from the hearts of London. I'm saying good morning to my team this morning. Solaimi Koike, Mr. Frank Davis, and Mr. Francis Guy, my able producer. Good morning to you all, gentlemen. And a special good morning also goes to Odra today. Yes, Equator to you. Sansam, good morning. And a special good morning also goes to Pastor Emmanuel Chidi. Man of God, I salute you. I hope you are doing very, very well as well. Those of you watching us and listening to us on the social media platforms, there seems to be a bit of a sound issue there. And the technical team are working assiduously on it and we'll try to sort it out. Something from the Pentecost Coast, Pensa 21. Donny Toffee. Ministering, dancing, Oyanikan's tune. Breathe. I mean, this morning you need a bit of breathe. Breathe in there. A breather, of course, that you need. Or whatever it is. Just stay tuned, don't you go away. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Just like in the beginning, where I was before you found me, in that place of koinonia.
Okay, once we go on, yes, the technical team are working to put out the volume. And let me say good morning to Sam Moses. Amaya, good morning to you. Anthony Adedeji, good morning to you as well. Aziz, good morning. All the Americans. And let me say massive good morning to you all. Miss Gold and all of you in UAE listening to us as well. Those of you on the African continent, especially in Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, Kenya, South Africa, of course the whole continent. You're there listening to us. This radio in Uganda, good morning to you all there. It is the Thursday edition of the morning show. What am I up to? Okay. All protocol observed. Now, what is going to happen today? I'm going to bring you the quote for the day and where the forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. And exactly at 11 o'clock, we're having Olayomi who will be joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. A few stories that is making the rounds. And then after that, we'll move on to look at some of the other stories making the rounds across the globe. And then we continue from then. At 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. At 1 o'clock, the curtains are brought down for the end of the program. So in a gist, that's what's going to happen today. So still continue to listen to us. I'm trying to take you to church today, aren't I? I want to say yes, you tired. All right then. The quote for the day says, when you see people as doors, you enter them with care. Because if you don't take time, when you want to come out, you'll be shut in. But what do you do in such circumstances? Treat people with what? Respect.
Spirit to spirit, I'm lighted by your word.
Starr Radio UK. I'm moving on straight to the weather front.
And with your breath I'm alive. That's how I come alive, yes. And that's how I change my world. If you know what
Well, it's been quite a nice, cool night, and let's see what is happening today. Well, so cloud will break up through the afternoon to leave sunny spells largely dry with just the small chance of an isolated shower. It's going to be breezy. Tonight will continue breezy. There will be a mixture of patchy cloud and clear spells for much of the night towards dawn. Cloud will clear and skies will become clear for all. A cool night expected once again. Top temperature is going to be 19 degrees. The lowest is going to be 11 degrees. UV level is going to be low pollution. Low sunset 1916. Sunrise for tomorrow morning 06:35 hours. And that brings us to the end of the weather forecast. 10:47 the time. I'm going to take you straight to the travel update. So stay tuned. Don't you worry. I'll bring you the rest of that music in a moment.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, as I would say, keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I'm keeping navigated. I promise I'll on the Starr Radio Travel Update that comes your way every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:47. So what is happening in your travel this morning? Especially those of you who want to go pay your last respect to the Queen. Okay, so on the underground this morning, well, some updates there. Now, the district line has got minor delays between Wimbledon and Edgware Road due to an earlier track fault at East Putney. Now, good service on the rest of the line. A Jubilee line has also got delays due to earlier faulty train. That aside, all the other underground services are all in good service. The landing overground DLR landing tram in good service there as well. Now let's move on straight to the major roads in London. Let me tell you what is happening there. On the major roads in London, A4 has got closures. Central London red routes have got closures. South Circular A205 closures there. But when it comes to A20, A23 and A40, there are serious delays that we advise you to avoid if you can. And also North Circular A406 has also got serious delays. Now keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads as you keep navigated our promise, our bond. Now moving on to the river bars this morning. Apart from the Woolwich ferry that's got a special service, all the others have got good service. Starr Radio UK, your travel update that comes to you every weekday from 10:40. Now moving on to the latter part of the update. The London cable car has got good service on the National Rail this morning. The Avanti West Coast has got reduced timetable, and then we have Great Anglia, minor delays on some routes. We have also Southwestern Railway, minor delays on some routes as well. Southern has also got minor delays on some routes. And the First Transparent Express has got amended timetable and therefore a bit of disruption there. But however, things seem to be ticking along nicely. Good service on all the other routes. That is where I will say once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads. You got it.
This is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medase.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Okay, welcome back to the program, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Yes, the technical team is just asking me to let you know that they're working assiduously to get a sound app. They're working to make sure that that happens for you. So wherever you are, don't even think of touching the dial. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, so just bear with us. Okay, whilst that is going on. Okay, now let's move on straight to some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. With a time now at 7 minutes to the top of the hour. As I announced earlier on, exactly at 11 o'clock, we have Mr. Laimi Koiki going to be coming in to bring you updates from Nigeria. But interestingly, one of the stories that I saw, but let me read this comment from one of our wonderful listeners, Sam, who says that, well, I think he is saying, or making that recommendation statement, the people going around queuing to go and view the remains of to go and pay their last respect to the Queen. And she said, when she was alive, nobody can go near her, but now that she is dead, that they can go near. Of course, how true that is. All right then. So now let's quickly go through some of the other stories that is making the rounds. In Nigeria today, a story that I saw once I was getting my stories ready pertains to the federal government that has released suspected IPOB members who were arrested in 2020. The federal government has released suspected members of the indigenous people of Biafra arrested by officers of the Nigeria Army since February 27, 2020 at the Imo River community in Abia State. The victims, Sunday Nwafo, 59, Zuwani Ejiofor, 48, Wilfred Deacon, 36, were held at 14th Brigade Nigeria Army Ohafia, Abia State for over 2 years. The news media confirms that, but I'll be bringing you more on that front, so don't you go away. Some other story is going to be coming from Nigeria. Lagos policeman falls sick after duty and dies in hospital. Demands for Ayu's removal unrealistic. Atiku is campaign spokesperson has said, and fresh demands by members of my apologies. Now Buhari to present 2023 budget in October. Bia Miller is saying, and the Anglican Church says endemic corruption has killed Nigeria under Buhari. Yeah. Well, I think they're going to be sending some people to their doorsteps saying that. But whatever it is Starr Radio UK. A lot more going to be coming your way once we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki on as well. Security agencies have serious questions to answer in Aisha Wang's case. Well, what do you think? That is all happening in Ghana as well. Mohammed's amnesty campaign for arrested galamseyers not condoning the illegal act. Inusa Fuseni is saying, so if they grant amnesty to them, that means Aisha Wan will also be covered by that, isn't it? Well, we'll see. My seat was given to Chinese galamseyer at Kumasi pub. Okay? Well, we'll see. We'll see what is going on there. Well, interestingly, yesterday I did put a story across where the former president, John Mahama, has said that he's been paid, I think up to, I'm not sure of the figure, but about 250,000 as is this a monument or what? But ex gratia that was given at the end of it. But information coming to, and there was another statement that he was making that he had not received, or the MPP government or the Akufo-Addo regime have not actually been paying him what is due him as a former president. But the former president Mahama not denied entitlements. That is what the MPP is saying now. So who is telling the truth? Yesterday we had Howard, one of the spokesperson for the former president, who came to make a statement that the president have not been given the amounts that is alleged to have been given to him. All right, then. So we'll be looking more into those stories in a moment. But wherever you are, don't touch the dial. A lot more going to be coming your way from the Ghanaian Front. Calls for review of Article 71 office holders' emolument, political gimmick. That's what the lecturer is saying. So what is the way forward for them? Well. It is Starr Radio UK. Ghana's inflation hits 33.9%. Oh my goodness. So if you had 1 Ghana city or 100 Ghana city or 100,000 Ghana cedis, it's now worth what? 67,000 Ghana cedis. That's how much it's dropped. So why would I want to invest in that part of the world? Okay, but well. A lot more going to be coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Don't you go away. Now let's move on straight to some of the other stories making the rounds across the globe. Now, Ivory Coast asked for ECOWAS summit over diplomatic row with Mali. Now, the whole problem seems to be going on, but now maybe that will resolve it. Why did the Ivorians go to Mali to go help is it a military attachment thing that they were doing there? But then they got to the place and were arrested, saying that they came in illegally. We'll be looking at that as well. And is ECOWAS broken? Who actually instructed them to come? Is it the UN? Why didn't they get the necessary documentations and everything, that agreement done before they allowed them to come in? A lot more going to be coming your way. Now, interestingly, when it comes to the world front, yesterday and the day before, we had the Ukrainians celebrating their recapturing of some other places in the Donbass area. But Ukraine says the attack is a revenge after it retook occupied territory from Russia in the east. A missile has hit dam near Zelensky's home city. Well, so is there going to be a flood there? Well, hitting the dam, that means that, well, you cut power supply. Okay, in some other story, Swedish Prime Minister resigns as right-wing parties win vote. The nation's first elected female leader is narrowly defeated in a major shift for Sweden. We're looking into that story as well. Prosecutors seek new trial in Syria podcast case. A Baltimore prosecutor says an investigation of the case now points to 2 other possible suspects. So if that person wasn't the one who did, then who did? Billionaire boss of Patagonia gives firm to charity. Von Conrad will give all of the fashion company's profit to a charity fighting climate change. Oh, wow. Okay. And then Florida flies migrants to wealthy Martha Vineyard. Oh, gosh. Now, that's a good one, you know. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, here in the UK as well, before we take a break and then bring Ms. Olayomi Koiki on, queues to file past Queen's coffin bills along the Thames, and then it's taking people up to, they said that it's going to take up to, you have to allow yourself about 30 hours to get in there. But people are trooping in there to go and pay their last respect. Will you go there? Have you been there? How was the atmosphere? Yes, I want to know all that. But this and a lot more going to be coming your way. Party considers scrapping bankers' bonus cap. Will he be popular among the bankers? Or now he's going to face his Waterloo? A lot more going to be coming your way. School dedicated day to Olivia ahead of funeral. Olivia, the young girl, 9-year-old who was shot there in Liverpool, is it Leeds? Yes, going to be laid to rest today. Okay, so those are some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. Stay tuned, don't you go away. I'll be bringing Ms. Olayomi Koiki in a moment. But now, enjoy the rest of the song from Danny Toffee.
Spirit to spirit, lighted by your word. It says, with your breath of life, Jesus. That's how I come. That's how I change. One more time, father to child, father to child. I'm lighted by your word, and with your breath of life, hey, that's how I come alive.
online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking the site. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Okay, welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now exactement to 8 minutes past the top of the hour. And it is nowhere that you find yourself than the one and only, the best radio station in the whole wide world, where we got the White Lion as well this morning in our North London studios, who is going to be bringing you updates from Nigeria. So let me say, good morning to you, Yummy. Yummy, we can't hear you. Okay, no, we can't hear you. Okay, just bear with me. Just bear with me, listeners. Just bear with us. Let's quickly take a break. We take a break. We sort that out. Okay, just bear with us.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Okay, let's see whether we can hear Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yummy. Okay, we can still not hear you. Just give me just 1 minute. I saw that out. I think I know what is happening. Yeah? Okay.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, listeners, just bear with us. We apologize sincerely for that breaking sound there, but we're trying to get that sorted out. We have the technical team working assiduously to do that. But let me see, Yomi, call us back. Let's see, please call us back. Dial back so that we see how it's going there. Please, thank you. But whilst Yomi is trying to do that as well, let me announce to you. Yesterday there was the Niger Voices that comes to every Wednesday exactly at Takto 18 hours BST or GMT +1, and it was a wonderful program. But he will be bringing us updates on what was discussed, so that if you missed that program, you will not miss it again. But I can tell you assuredly that come next Wednesday, another edition of the Niger Voices will be coming your way. It's a program that is dedicated strictly to that. They want me to put it that way. That geographical area known as Nigeria. Well. But interestingly, as I said earlier on, some of the story that have been put across pertains to what the federal government has done. Anthony Adedeji, let me say massive good morning to you and thank you very much for joining in once again. The federal government has released some IPOP, what do you call them? Subscribers or leaders or who were arrested 2020, and I can tell you that they have been released. But why did the government release them? Is it a way of maybe an olive branch that has been stretched forward to the IPOP, and that give us a hope? Because yesterday, once we were on air, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? The IPOP leader Nnamdi Kanu was arraigned before court. I mean, the court was not supposed to have sat, but his lawyers managed to push for the hearing to take place. So maybe is it because of that he's been these ones have been granted, have been released, something to show, or maybe government, bringing in a bit of peace there. What do you think? We'll be looking into that. But let me see, Yomi. Okay. Yomi. Hello, Yomi. Okay. We can't hear you. Hello, Yomi. Oh, wow. Can you hear me though? Can you just do a sign? Can you hear me? You hear me perfectly.
We can hear you.
But you can't. I can't hear you. You can hear me perfectly. Okay. Listeners, just bear with us. The technical team are working seriously together. If not, we have to either just do an audio in without you seeing Mr. Olayomi Koiki whilst that is done. So Yomi, let's try that. Let's get the audio through. Okay. Just hold on for a minute. Whilst we try to sort that out. Okay. Yes. There is a sound coming through now. Let me see. Yomi? Okay, there's a sound coming through now, so I think we should get... Oh, okay. Hello, Yomi? Hello, Yomi? I think he's hanged up. We might have to call him. Yeah, let's call him back. Okay, whilst we continue to do that, well, demands for IU's removal are unrealistic. That's what article is saying. It's a fresh demands for members of the People's Democratic Party, including Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, for the resignation. Yeah, I'm getting the feed through now. for the recognition of for the resignation of the party's national chairman, Dr. Iochia Ayu. Yeah, okay. Yomi, yes, we can hear you. So if you pick up, that would be good. Okay. Dr. Iochia Ayu have been overtaken by some, he says, events and should not be subject to discussion. Spokesperson for Atiku Abubakar campaign organization, Charles Aniago, said on Wednesday. Okay. Yomi is going to call us back. Yomi is going to call us back. Okay, I think his call is coming through now. Yes, Yomi.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, I can also hear you loud and clear. All right then. Yeah, listeners, thank you very much for your patience. There's a bit of a feedback. I don't know whether from my end or from your end with the other devices, but we are working on it. So just bear with us. How are you doing, sir?
Very good, Mr. Archie. Good morning once again to you back in the studio.
Yes. Okay, because we've just wasted a bit of time, but don't you worry, we were all sorting everything out for the listeners to enjoy the show. Now, what was discussed yesterday, and what were some of the outcomes and some of the the reactions that came in from the show?
Well, Niger Voices Wednesdays, 1800 hours up to where we discuss a lot of issues. I think the focus point yesterday was looking into the letter that was sent to the president by the Yoruba Self-Determination Group, Professor Banja Akintoye, and trying also to hear what Goodluck Jonathan actually said. And if we just take a bit of under the minute of probably less than a minute, this is what Goodluck Ebele Jonathan said. Let's hear that again as well this morning.
Thinking about how we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria, and I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our founding leaders, and I feel that probably this will help us to have a conversation on the Nigerian unity. I just brought four, not to bore you. First, and I quote, not my statement, Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western region. The second one, and I quote, "It is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit." This accredited to Sir Amado Bello, former Premier of Northern Region. The third, and I quote, "Since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country, but the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. The Nigerian unity is only a British intention for the country." This is, sir.
And that was a statement that was put out by the former President Goodluck Ebele Azikiwe Jonathan, GCFR, GCON, a politician, and also served as the president between 2010 to 2015. He lost that election to the to the current president Goodluck, President Muhammadu Buhari. these were part of the conversation yesterday. And again, as election is coming, more Nigerians also want to find out the history to what Nigeria is. I'm not sure at what event he actually spoke, but this was well televised, as quite a lot of dignitaries were sitting there listening to him carefully. And I'm sure this morning I've been following the Twitter in the last 48 hours after this video has actually popped up on the social media. This is the same letter. I have the content of that letter here. I remember that this letter was sent to President Muhammadu Buhari by the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, and right on the page 4 of that letter is exactly what Professor Banji Akintoye said to the president, that the formative years of the 1950 to 1960 expressed serious doubt about the wisdom of keeping the many people of Nigeria as one country. Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the then foremost Yoruba leader and one of the foremost negotiator of the federal system for Nigeria, wrote at the time that Nigeria is a mere geographical expression, and that if a member of the federation became predominantly anarchistic, the other members of the federation should, if they disagree with such, be able to discontinue their association with Nigeria. And as Goodluck Jonathan said, he also says there, Professor Banji Akintoye, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, the man who as the Prime Minister headed the Nigerian federal government in the years immediately after the independence, said on the number of occasions before and after independence, since 1940, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. The question then is, will Nigeria continue to be one country after 2023? Time will tell, and I'll be giving how many days and months, how many weeks, when we look at the countdown to Starr Radio UK. I'll come back again to do in the studio, but if you've missed that particular program, all that is still back on the social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter of Starr Radio UK, where you can watch it. And as of today, we are just 148 days, 13 hours, 37 minutes, and the seconds before If Nigeria Unity will continue.
Wow. It is already UK. Interesting one there. But let me say good morning to Pastor Mo. He says the truth is coming out among them. Of course, he's talking about the statement that Jonathan Goodluck had made. Now, but Yomi, before we go to today's stories, what we're looking at now, what was Jonathan's own take on it? Because he was like quoting what others have said. But what is his own take pertaining to that statement?
Well, his own take has always been the same as the politicians, as much as they reference back to what the forefathers have said, what they've discussed, the later Obafemi Awolowo, but the politicians refuse to give us exactly their own take, in terms of the unity of Nigeria. Jonathan, we were thinking up to the last point that he will be part of the APC as their candidate, but I'm sure he must have thought about it carefully and he decided not to. It was not used on the PDP ticket because Atiku was not going to allow that, because Atiku have always been interested as far back as 1993 to become the president of Nigeria. So Jonathan literally left the position. But his own take, as so many other politicians, is we can keep Nigeria, but the unity aspect of it is the question mark. Can we have a united Nigeria today? And the politicians are trying their best to say, I've listened to Peter Obi. He's saying that, he's going to try and bring the unity back. I've listened to Tinubu. Tinubu says, we can bring the unity back among ourselves, even though they have a Muslim ticket. I've listened carefully to Atiku, a Dubai-based politician that always comes back home every 4 years, according to Omoyele Sowore. But he's saying also that we can still have this unity and make Nigeria a country for everyone.
Well, will Nigeria be made into a country for everyone, or will the division continue with every anarchy that is taking place and the insecurity issue that is going on? The 2023 election, is it going to take place or not? Well, you want to know more? Your dials have to be logged on Starr Radio UK each day or each weekday when the morning show comes away, and on Wednesdays as well at 18 hours when the Niger Voices program comes away with Ms. Olayomi Koiki. All right, then. Now, Yomi, let's quickly jump on to some of the stories making the rounds. Now, some story before we come to the ones that you posted here as well. I just chanced on that story where the federal government is alleged to have released some IPOP members or leaders, I don't know who they are, who were arrested by the security agencies 2020. So what is it all about? Do you have any further information? Is it pertaining to Nnamdi Kanu's case yesterday or the day before, when the court, the lawyers managed to push the case through, though it was not time for that hearing to take place?
Well, when it comes to IPOB and the federal government is just as many as a lot of issues that is still out there, you know. And what is IPOB? Is the indigenous people of Biafra, and that believe, you know, that they need to also have their own independent, country. But it has always been, you know, a big fight between the government. The government has actually labeled IPOB in Nigeria, not in the international, countries, but it seems that the federal government have labeled, designated IPOB as a terrorist organization, and there's so much belief that most of the atrocity happening in the southeast is being committed by the IPOB. But in terms of the release, I've not seen that particular article, but like we do know, there's so many, from those that have just wearing IPOB outfit have been arrested, those that have been arrested for different reasons, and some of them have also been killed that we probably will not know, as we speak right now. But the most important thing is, their leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, returned back to court, not himself personally, but his lawyer, Ifeanyi Ejimafo, the lead lawyer and other, senior advocate of Nigeria, went back to court on the 13th. And what we can say is that, the outcome of that is a record that the appeal was earlier adjourned to the 11th of October 2022. But however, on the 23rd of June 2022, they filed an application to bring that closer, and they did got that date. But in terms of, the pursuant to the said application, the Court of Appeal has graciously brought forward the earlier scheduled date, which happened just 2 days ago. Consequently, when the matter came up, on that same day, the said application for the abridgment of the time which had been overtaken by the event was struck out. The appeal was fully heard on the merit that on the 13th by the Chief Mike Ozekomo, the senior advocate of Nigeria, the lead counsel to Onyedu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and did justice to the appeal. He addressed the Court of Appeal on all the pertinent issues raised on the court determination. It is interesting to know that the federal government have now admitted before the court of expanding huge resources to criminally adopt, extraordinarily rendition Onyedu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. So the federal government have already, accepted that they did actually brought him back, on rendition and kidnapping. The federal government further admitted viva voce that they have amended the charges 7 times, which is a clear indication and admission that they do not have any case whatsoever against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They only interested in keeping him in custody indefinitely, but the Court of Appeal is their final bus stop. But what is going to be the outcome, further in view of his extraordinary rendition in the flagrant disregard to an international law and treaties on extradition, including Section 15 of Nigeria Extradition Act Cap E25 LFN 2004, the lower court does not have the requisite jurisdiction to try him on the alleged offense, which gave infraction form part of the intriguer issues. But we have to wait now for when the court will eventually give his own verdict in terms of a bail condition for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that was kidnapped, rendition by the federal government of Nigeria back to from Kenya to Nigeria. So the case actually continued, but I think the lawyer believes that they're doing so well when it comes to the Nnamdi Kanu case. Showore also paid a visit during that period on the 13th, just as he has done even during the time of the Yoruba nation that was having the same issue with the federal government when the 12 innocent Yorubas were kidnapped from Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho's house until they were released as we speak. Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koike in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in the studios.
The volume is a bit low, Mr. Archie.
Okay, just bear with me. Can you hear me now? Much better? Good. All right then. Yes, as I said, it is the Thursday edition of the morning show, 11:30 the time. Now let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds. The Anglican Church says endemic corruption has killed Nigeria under Buhari. Now, for you to have the church actually coming out to virtually chastise our government is quite a big one. But let me say good morning to Miss Gold, or good afternoon to you in UAE. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Yomi.
Yeah, I missed a bit of, I think you were talking about the Anglican.
Yes, the Anglican Church. Yeah.
Where, you know that there's been a lot when it comes to the atrocity, the crime. I was looking at the statistics. Remember that in Nigerian diaspora that returned back home on July 28 or 29 precisely, was kidnapped. We're talking about Mr. Owolabi Oluwagbenga, and I actually come across an article that also been, that released about him today. Oluwagbenga Olabi, a 55-year-old Nigerian American, left for Canada in his 20s, later moved to the US, and after about 30 years in the United States of America, he set up a business in Nigeria, planned to return home. 7 months after opening his hotel in Ogbomoso, he was kidnapped and likewise killed. So the headline by the Anglican Church says, endemic corruption has killed Nigeria under President Muhammadu Buhari. We certainly cannot afford to accumulate debt capable of enslaving our future generations, according to the Anglican Primate have warned. This was said by the Archbishop of the Metropolitan and Primate of the Church of Nigeria, Anglican Communion, Henry Ndukuba, has urged the President Muhammadu Buhari regime to find a lasting solution to the fuel crisis in the country, stressing that corruption is literally tearing the nation apart.
Okay, listeners, Starr Radio UK, Mr. Olayomi keep bringing us some more there. But what have been the reaction from the federal government pertaining to this statement from the Anglican Church? Because especially when you look at this Muslim tickets that is going on, and then we have some of the Christian clergies who went to support to support the APC where they were trying to get in Shetima and everything that went on there. But my issue is that what has been the federal government's reaction to this statement, because it's virtually those that they were trying to hope on or lean to who have now come back to chastise them.
Well, looking at the social media handle of the president, especially Femi Adesina, nothing of such has been responded back to the Anglican, but I'm sure it won't take them time before they do so, because when it comes to the religious interfering in the situation, current situation in Nigeria, they're always responding back to that. But all I can say is yesterday they had the Federal Executive Council that was presided over by the President Muhammadu Buhari, according to what I have here in front of me and the pictures. Also, from the information I had, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, the Vice President, will be the one to represent President Muhammadu Buhari for the final burial of the Queen Elizabeth II that will be coming up, I believe, next week. So I've already got that information as well, that he will be traveling to London for that event. But in terms of the response back to the Anglican that says the great monster of corruption is endemic, it has killed our nation. As Christians, we must rise to make differences in our nation. We certainly cannot afford to accumulate debt capable of enslaving our future generation, according to the Anglican Primate.
Well, it is Starr Radio UK, 11:34 the time, the Thursday edition of the morning show. Mr. Olayomi in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in our main studios. Okay, now let's move on to one story and then I can hand over to you. The clashes or unrest that is going on in the PDP. What is it all about there, once again?
Well, Atiku was in Ibadan, Oyo State, southwest of Nigeria yesterday, and it seems, some members of the PDP actually want the PDP chairman to resign or probably have to go. But Atiku doesn't really want that, and that is creating a lot of, problems, and that is why the headline this morning saying, Atiku Wabara met aggrieved Governor Makinde, demands IUs to exit. The newly appointed chairman of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party and also the former Senate President Chief Adolphus Wabara has begun crucial moves to save the main opposition party from imminent collapse. As a result, is leading a delegation of the PDP boards comprising some former governors, ex-deputy governors, ex-ministers, and a lot of top party chieftaincies to meet with the three aggrieved PDP governors. Seyi Makinde is not happy. Likewise, Wike is not happy as well within the 48 hours. The meeting is meant to placate the aggrieved governors and prepare the ground for further negotiation that will stop the move by the ruling Progressive Congress to woo the PDP governors to their side. It seems now there might be indication that some of these governors might switch side from PDP to APC.
Wow, I thought that they'll be going to the Labour Party, who has got the momentum at the moment. But whatever it is, keep your comments coming through. Starr Radio UK. Moyiwa Senegal says, good morning, Archie and Mr. Koiki. Moyiwa, I hope you are doing very, very well. Thank you very much for joining us. And as many of you who are on the other platforms watching us, those who are just listening to us, we want to salute each and every one of you. Let's go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, let's go straight, to the business, part of Nigeria this morning. Forced scarcity have actually now hit rivers tanker drivers as they withdraw their services, and that is also going to create a lot of problems. Federal government, European Union, and the FAD complete 104 billion naira electricity agreement. We hope that after a couple of months and years, we're not going to start hearing, that this agreement was a mistake, and there were some clauses, and eventually the government has to pay off, and then there's no more electricity agreement as we've seen in the past. So federal government, European Union complete 104 billion electricity agreement. Also, Disco yet to meter 5 million registered customers is coming as well. Terminal operator, Chinese firm partner to boost the trade is coming from the headline as well. Bank deposit rise by 24% to almost 42 trillion naira. Osibajo advocate broader gas usage to curb deforestation. That is coming from the headline as well. Custom intercept 80,000 liter tankers carrying dirty diesel. And likewise, white tankers recorded 340 crashes according to truckers. We've seen so much accident. Killings of accident, damages of major roads across Nigeria. Truckers have blamed human factors, bad roads, fake spare part as reasons for over 340 accident cases involving trucks, tankers recorded between January and July 2022. We've seen a lot of cases across the country. According to the president of the Association of the Maritime Road Transport Owners, Remi Ogungbemi, in an interview in Lagos on Monday, admitted that there were some human factors responsible for the situation. And the question then is, what is the state government doing? What is the FRC doing to make sure that some of this human factor does not continue? We've seen trailers falling from the bridge all down to the bottom of the next road, especially in Ojuelegba area, where that has created a lot of havoc. All things have to with the environment. What I mean is, if you look at the condition of the road, you will know that most of the roads are not motorable. There are some also human factor. Most of the roads across Nigeria today as worse as what it used to be in the 60s. Cybercrime, the Inspector General Police, Usman Baba, is recommend no go for MAGA to Nigerians. It seems that there are so many crafty, intelligent Nigerians that they were able to also wire 30 million off the New York City, and the FBI is actually looking for the this individual. And it's amazing that during this COVID, somebody was able to to dupe the New York City worth $30 million, and that's a Nigerian. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, has urged stakeholders in the security sector to utilize the police crime report portal to report all forms of cybercrime in any part of the country for prompt action. He recommended the police no for MAGA handbook to the Nigerian public. According to one of the Nigerian most decorated senior police officers, remember, Abba Kyari is still wanted in the US for conspiring with Raymond Abbas, known as Hush Puppy, in a multi-million-dollar internet fraud. Mr. Baba made the appeal yesterday in a statement by police spokesman Olumuyiwa Adejobi. He also urged the public to report the issue of theft, child abuse, exploitation. But a lot of Nigerians have also complained about individuals and those politicians, but it seems the police are not really looking into that. But he's also got a number here. It's a WhatsApp number, and if you want that, you can report the crime according to the Inspector General of Police. So I'm going to take one more, come back again to you in the studio, and then when I come back, we look at what is happening on the social media. Once again, it is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Drug link, Lagos property buyer to pay extra 32 million naira. That is coming from, the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola. The federal government yesterday said the buyer of the 2 real estate properties confiscated for drug-related crimes in 2001 would now pay the Lagos government the full valuation price of the asset. This amount to 18 to 20 million to be paid for the Lagos-based property earlier purchased for 5 and 2 million respectively. You can imagine that this is part of the corruption system, that the government confiscated a property worth millions of naira but end up selling it for peanut. Explaining the development to the State House correspondent yesterday during the Federal Executive Council meeting, the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, a former governor of Lagos State, said the new directive followed a memo which revealed that the government was underpaid in the 21-year transaction that took place when the property was sold for 2 to 5 million rather than the full price.
Now, interestingly, I want to find out what will be done to these people. Who bought those property at virtually a knockdown price, and government didn't make much from that as well.
The property is a 4-bedroom bungalow at Adeni Jones, a very exclusive area that I know very well in Lagos, and also a 5-bedroom duplex on Amadasu Street in Ikoyi, another very exclusive area, were seized by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in the course of a narcotic prosecution. It said that the government had mandated the buyer to pay 18 million for the bungalow, 21 million for the 5-bedroom duplex, being the cost at which the value in 2001. However, Fashola kept mute on the identity of the buyer and the narcotic dealer who the NDLA confiscated the property from.
Beautiful, beautiful Africa. Pastor Mo says university students kept at home for going to 7 months for God's sake. Which country does that? Well. Now, I know that the federal government are taking the ASU to court. They say that they are going to take them to court for not agreeing to the terms of going back to teach the student. But Pastor Mo continues, no wonder their colonizer in Britain tells us to go and use our certificates in Nigeria. What an insult. Well. It is All Star Radio UK, the Thursday edition of the morning show. 11:42 the time. We have to go to the social media for what is happening there. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, Occupy INEC, hashtag Occupy INEC is actually trending at #1 in the politics trend in Nigeria this morning at 40,000 tweets so far, and nothing more than the fact that on the 27th of September, it seems that all INEC offices nationwide will be occupied. On the 27th of this September, we will occupy INEC offices nationwide at 9 a.m. Watch this space for more details. It is not over until Nigerian wins. This coming from Neferati. But also, according to the COP that I have listened to their clip, but because of the time constraint, we warn Nigerians youth that there is no credible election in Nigeria. What Nigeria have as election is a scam. While you are busy shouting obedient, the INEC and the cabal are busy plotting, joining our call for total balkanization of Nigeria. This is coming from Emeka Gift Official on Twitter. Yeah, let's take a look at more that is trending, when it comes to INEC. INEC is one of the Independent National Electoral Commission, for those that are probably not aware, but it is so corrupt that it is being controlled by the ruling government, APC, and there's been a lot of Nigerians that are not pleased with that. Get your camp bed, mat, and blanket ready to hashtag Occupy INEC. We must make our voices heard loud and clear. Roger out, INEC. This coming from Daniel Adamutango. So it seems that on the 27th, we will probably be seeing INEC offices being occupied as we look forward to that. Just to take one more, I am consulting youth leader across Nigeria. We have to speak with one voice on this. Anybody that loves Nigeria must demand a credible election with us come 2023. But the question is, will there be an election in 2023 as the Yoruba, the Biafra, and the Middle Belt are saying, we want all out of Nigeria, the union is no longer working. And that is how we can go this morning because of the time constraint. But we'll be back again same time tomorrow for more update from Nigeria.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. But Yomi, before you go,
We can hear you.
You can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Hello, Yomi?
No.
You can't hear me? Oh, gosh. But I can hear you loud and clear as well. Okay.
No.
You can't hear me. Okay. Let's end the conversation for this morning. The technical team will work on it as well once again. But wherever you are, thank you very much for joining in to listen to us on the Star Radio UK morning show and the updates from Nigeria. Yomi, thank you very much. Have a top of the day.
All right, I can hear what you can say, what you're saying, but I'm not too sure whether it's from my end or your end. But thank you so much once again, Mr. Archie.
All right.
Bye for now.
Bye. Okay, listeners, I sincerely apologize for the break in audio communication there, but we're working on it. The technical team are working on it. Yes, but I hope that you enjoyed the first part of the program. I'm going to give you some music, as my granddaughter says, some music, and then we will continue with the program. Stay tuned. Don't you go away. It says, so much trouble in the world. This is a special one from the Yakamalaya Bele City band. Enjoy it, and I'll be with you.
On your smartphone.
You are listening to Star Radio Morning Show. Star Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
We the people struggling.
This is Star Radio UK. Starr Radio UK.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Well, it is Starr Radio UK, and once again, welcome to the program. From now till 1 o'clock, we're going to be looking at some of the other stories making the rounds. But it's now 7 minutes to the top of the hour. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open the lines now. So if you want to hop in, feel free to do so. No, normally I would have opened it at 12 o'clock. But now let's quickly just go on. Let me bring you the numbers that you can use to get in touch with us. It is 0208-133-2257 or 5802-081-33-2257 or 58. Those of you in the US or Canada, in the Caribbean area, it is 0017183032737 0017183032737. You can also text or WhatsApp us. You know, it is 0753966174 0753966174. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio. You can email address is info@starradiouk.com. Also, you can post your comments on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel, on our Twitter, and I promise you one thing for sure, that I'm going to read that. But now, 6 minutes to the top of the hour, and I've got with me Mr. Frank Davis in the house as well. Let me say, Frank, good morning to
Archie, good morning, and good morning to our listeners. So let me thank you for the wonderful job, and Archie, for our listeners who have been on social media since morning, we appreciate them.
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Still morning, but we're doing great.
Okay. Still morning, but we're doing great. That's the way forward. All right then. Now, listeners, Mr. Frank Davis for you. Now we're going to be looking at some of the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. But a quick one from the Nigeria story behind the scenes. You were listening to it. Now, the Goodluck Jonathan, who was a former president, are coming out to say that now Nigeria is not a nation, okay? That the British tried to push it up, put those tribes together to call it a nation. And then I could hear, I mean, from the statement that he was making, there was a clause there that at a point, if you decide that you are not in or all in for what is going on, you have the right to get out of it.
Yeah.
So why is that not being allowed to take place? If people think that they are being marginalized, they're not getting what they want to get.
Actually, if you take the Bible, if for instance we take a verse in the Bible, I'm going to quote a verse, but I'm not going to read. People should go and read it. If we take Isaiah 66, verse 11 and 12, don't read it. If you read it, they'll come and attack us over here. And I read it out. It might not sound well to a lot of people, some people think that, well, Frank is blaspheming, he's been naughty this morning. But will you accuse me of altering the words? Will you accuse me of putting those words together? Or I'm just, reading something that has been written down. So at the end of the day, Jonathan, where does it stand? You asked a very important question. In all this scripture that Jonathan has come to read, Jonathan refused to comment whether he's agreeing with the author, disagreeing with him, and what someone who has been privileged to be a president of Nigeria, reading something to say that there's never a Nigerian nation, then that means his president was even illegitimate. Did he agree with what they are saying, or what is his stand? What are the importance? What are the relevance of what he read? Jonathan refused again to act, refused again to lead Nigerians, refused again to take the lead to demonstrate that he's a leader Nigerian can trust. Are you getting me? Because at the end of the day, you coming to read us a biblical sermon. What for? Relevance. You left us just to remind us that there has been someone who has altered that there was no Nigeria. The British have come to try to. Look, there's no nation that grew up. There's no nation that we can point to today that grew up from one father, one mother, uncles and siblings, and therefore they moved to settle there and therefore became a nation. No. History doesn't have it. If you take the UK for instance, the Romans invaded here. They are even, the Queen herself was not originally from here. At the end of the day, nations are an aggregation of different tribes. Some have overpowered some. Train battle. We talk about the great kings and the great queens of Britain, the barbaric acts that they used to commit in the 14th, 16th, beheading people. The one of the heroes that they even celebrate has to even kill the wives and kill what do you call it? Kill the wives and kill even those who were serving him, so that he could take possession of their houses to enrich themselves. He's not different from politicians today who go about ravaging our assets and others. But today they hail him. So you see, Archie, Yoruba nation cannot be Nigeria. Igbos cannot be Nigerians. It's either we agree that we are coming to form a Nigerian nation, or we do not agree. If we are not going to marry, let's divorce. If we're not going to divorce, let's agree on how we work. The arrangement coexistence. The arrangement that I'm a lady and therefore I have to cook might not work today. So is it going to be that you help me in cooking, or when we are cooking I'm chopping the okra, you are doing the eba? We need to agree. So Nigerians will need to have for me, in all this, a conversation ought to be had, and people will need to agree about the way forward. Now, especially if you look at the Nigerian population below 45, the future belongs to them more. What do they think today about the situation at hand? Are they thinking the way they are thinking because the way the generation gone and those still in charge have conducted their affairs? If Nigeria were distributing its resources fairly, if there were no I pass my neighbor, fueled by articles greed to sell generators, if we do not see this attack by Fulanis, fueled by worries, inactiveness in office, or promising and not doing anything, do you think we'll see all this agitation coming from the Yorubas and other things? Are you getting me? So at the end of the day, what do the people of that enclave, calling Nigeria, calling Jeriana, or whichever name you want to call it, the people in that geographical space, what do they want today? What do they want their future to be? How do they want it to look like? How do they want to distribute or share, make use of their resources? For me, that is a modern conversation. Coming to tell me history about what someone has written before, which has no bearing on the bread, what is happening today, it makes no sense, especially when you had the opportunity to be the president. Look, anyone on the street can say that I have, but for anyone who has tasted that power, had the opportunity to cause change in that office, by fail to do that, for me, their legitimate right to speak on some of these issues should, for me, is taken away from them. Because if they cannot offer solutions, if they cannot tell us what they wanted to do, what prevented them from doing it, and let them tell, oh, all this is now an afterthought with the benefit of hindsight, for which they must apologize. That Nigerians have failed you. I fail to recognize the enormity of the challenges we have. In my view, this is what I think should be done now. Looking at the information I had the privilege, to have access to, looking at what is happening and looking at the future that we're going to. If we do not go this way, that is my candid opinion as an ex-president of Nigeria who continue to receive benefits from the taxpayer, haven't served them. Apart from that, Jonathan should keep quiet.
Well, they are greedy dogs. I'm not content anything. I'm just reading something that is coming to my head, which can never have enough, and they are shepherds. They cannot understand. They all look to their own way. Everyone for his gain, from his quarter. I mean, we're talking about a typical politician, African politician. They just want to just rake in, and serving no interest of the general public. But are you a politician? Are you listening to us? And is that what you do as well? It is Starr Radio UK. Now let's come to something, because yesterday I was asking Mr. Olayomi, I mean, here in the UK, if you want to petition the parliament or government, you can have a number of signatories, and then 100,000 signatories. That qualifies your case to be heard, or something to be done about it. Ask whether they have anything of the sort. He said no.
No, actually, Africans will not come out with that system. The reason being that you can easily get signatures, and you get people. You get people to basically protest on issues, and these issues should be read. Governments will never want to do that in Africa. I mean, if you take Ghana even today, the Freedom of Information Act that they talk about, if you want to access information, the institution decides to charge you what they wish. I mean, we are being told, for instance, that Environmental Protection Agency, an American company, ATC, has erected a mast. I know that mast at Taifa, Burkina. They are asking information about what do you, because the citizens and the inhabitants of that Taifa, I live in that area, are concerned. Now, Environmental Protection Agency is asking the journalists to pay 2,005 Ghana before they can release information, right? There's even a case pending in court now, where one organization again was asked to release information. They were charging 2,000 Ghana. Some were charging as far as $1,000 to release information. Now the question is, was the law passed to aid governance, or the law was passed so that the institutions can use it to milk the public or to milk journalists? And the government will say, oh, the president will say, oh, we've passed a law, but you have actually weaponized that law against the people. So what you have effectively done is you put something on the paper, but in that you have put in a bullet that sucks blood from the people. So anyone who wants information, their blood is like using a needle syringe to draw blood from them. Because money they are paying, where do you expect them to get it from? Over here, there are laws, there are procedures which entitles everyone to get information. Yes, there might be a token that we pay, but they don't weaponize the law. They do not weaponize that provision to deprive, the public access. Now, if you want to make a law, if you want your case to be heard in Ghana, Nigeria, it's not going to happen. This is a country where we even don't have private member bills. It takes a long time. It has to take the discretion of the the speaker to either admit that, because there's no procedure, there's no law. Here it's compulsory. You get 100,000 signatures, or there's nothing like subjective discretion about because that's how the institution have to work. But our place, they're not going to do it. Forget it. It's not going to happen now.
Now, interestingly, I said that to say, because I was asking Yomi that looking at agitation that is going on, the southeast, the southwest, and everything, and the statement that Jonathan was making. Now, if our constitution is such that we can petition government to say, look, listen to the people, let there be a referendum, debate in the parliament. Then he came out to tell me that, look, even the constitution of the the lower house, the House of Representatives, is such that majority are from the north. who are against the disintegration, and therefore there is no way that you can get that. Now, when you put people, that means backing them in the corner, we are being marginalized, we are hungry, we think people are treading on our toes and stuff like that. You said nothing.
Actually, it's just a matter of time. We've been saying it. I mean, the evidence is clear. Everything is playing out that what Nigeria is descending to is conflict. What Nigeria is descending to a situation where if we do not take time, there's going to be civil unrest. And Nigeria civil unrest, I'm afraid, will be one of the worst on the even what happened in Rwanda, the Hutus, the Tutsis will not come close to what we're going to be witnessing should it happen in Nigeria. Over the years, people have thought, the president have thought that, I mean, making the state, I mean, having a very strong security was going to help. The security is as polarized as we have. If Boko Haram can infiltrate, I mean, the military, I mean, give them intelligence, and I'm not saying it, the military themselves saying it. Then, which kind of, I mean, strong security do you think you do have? It's not going to happen. It's just a matter of time that people get angry and say no. We will not take it any longer. Yeah.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Keep your comments coming through. I promise you one thing for sure. I will read them and acknowledge you as well. But now let's move on straight to some of the stories making the rounds in Ghana as well. Now, interestingly, yesterday I did talk about this story pertaining to the former president and his denial as to whether his ex gratia was paid him, and then the MPP coming out to publish a document to say that he's been paid. Meanwhile, he's saying that the MPP government are not giving him what is due. Now, I don't know if per the constitution they are supposed to have maybe a monthly remuneration or something. So what exactly happens there?
The constitution stipulates you actually retire, go out of office at what do you call it? The benefit that you basically the constitution has there's a committee that normally will be formed that determines what you get. If there's an increment, you get it, your pension and other things. In that, you even supposed to have an office paid for. You're supposed to have a set number of workers, supposed to have I think about 3 cars. You're supposed to have security, your medical bills, your air tickets and other things are supposed to be taken care of. That should be without fail. If there's a general problem, there's a general problem, but at each point in time, that dialogue needs to be there. Yesterday, I listened briefly to the MPP communication team, Ahiaga, whatever they call him, who came to address. And I've seen a lot of information that has been published by, what do you call it, a lot of MPP spokesperson and communication. Listen. Again, there was an issue about Ashanwan, about the comment the former president made. Actually, I'm sorry, but let me be a bit harsh with my choice of words here. You see that the MPP communicator do not understand English, or when they hear or someone speaks, they do not have the intellect to encode it the way the person intends it. Look, actually, there are audios, there are videos of what the president said. What was published yesterday is a mockery of the people who organized the demonstration, the press conference.
Okay.
The president did not complain about his staff, i.e., Felix Ofosukwachi, Mutare Buga, whatever they call that lady, and he never complained of them not being paid.
Okay.
He never said they don't pay them. If there's no comment at all, it's about how they are paid. Monthly, they are paying them quarterly. 2, he was specific that he was not given an office, he rented his office himself. That was not refuted yesterday. He also complained, or he also made allegation. It wasn't a complaint, we were just stating the facts, because they've come to make allegations that in 2014 or so, they gave him about 40 million, and in 2017 they gave him about 15 million, which were all publicized. He challenged that he can show his bank statement. Yesterday, nothing of evidence to contradict that was showcased. He also said he pays his own flight tickets whenever he's going up. In fact, he's entitled to medical, he and the wife and they are entitled to someone. They did not produce any shred of evidence yesterday to say that we have paid. I mean, those things. He said he booked, and even as of 3 days ago, he said 4 days. He said he was traveling. He booked his own ticket. There was no evidence to show that the government foot those bills. Are you good? So what is the the noise all about that the president was not being candid? The other evidence that you produced was communication, internal communication within the government. Produce evidence to say that this internal communication has resulted in paying his office, giving him allowance for his office, paying for ABCD. You did not produce that evidence. I personally am against all those payments anyway, because I think most of these Articles 71 office holders do not deserve what they get, in my view. So the quantum of what they pay, I have a problem with it. It doesn't matter whether it's Jerry late. It doesn't matter whether it's Kufuor. It doesn't. But we cannot have Kufuor, former President Kufuor, alive. We cannot have Nadumos alive. We cannot have Teresa Kufuor alive. We cannot have Kunedu alive. We cannot have Lodina alive. Mahama himself alive. And the treatment given to Kufuor differs from the treatment given to Mahama.
They are all ex-president.
They are ex-president. The treatment given to Teresa, whatever Teresa is due, whatever Nadu is due, whatever Lodina is due, whatever Kunedu is due, treat them fairly and equally. You cannot isolate Lodina and Mahama and treat them differently, maltreat them from others. That is where the bone of contention is. And the government, in my view, as of yesterday, the mockery they made of themselves, from where I sit, their choir singers or whoever, trumpets, their noise making, I go ahead. But if you look at the facts, yesterday they did not say anything different from what Mahama. In fact, if anything at all, they have proven Mahama right, because nothing did they show yesterday that contradicts whatever. Now, the game they tried to play was to show that, okay, we paid some of the staff, or paid the staff in August, a quarterly allowance, which was supposed to have by law they're supposed to be paid 3 every month, because they take it as salary. That we pay them, and then we pay them in August, and therefore we pay. But he did not complain about that. He complained about how they were being paid, that they were being quarterly. And yesterday the evidence proved that you pay them quarterly instead of monthly, right? You did not provide evidence of other. They should be able to show that this is office. We pay the office bill. He's entitled to office. Did you give him office? No. So what are they crying about? What are they talking about? The other is issue about Ashanwan issue. Now, Mahama said when he was in office, about 5,000, and that's why I said the English word, the English statements, either they don't understand it or whatever. Said the English, he said about 5,000. Archie, work the maths out. The immigration office has come to confirm that about 900 people were directly repatriated. They also said in between 2012 and 2014, the immigration office has also come to say that between 2014 and 2016, about 4,000 nationals of Chinese origin were arrested, and their government sent a flight. They didn't want to. So if you add 4,000 to 9, does it not make almost about this thing, about 5,000? So what is the noise? What did they disgrace? Why were they disgracing themselves?
They didn't go to the court for the court to say that.
Why were they disgracing themselves? No. When I heard, in fact, I listened to a bit of it. I was so shocked that a communication director of a great party like an MPP will come and ridicule themselves and disgrace themselves like that, because if you read through the facts, they've done nothing to basically justify. The man said about 5,000. If you work, the man says come to about 5,000. What is your beef?
Maybe they wanted him to say 4,900.
Jesus Christ.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But Aisha Wan's case, now, under whose regime was Aisha Wan given her nationality? Because apparently she's a Ghanaian national.
Well, we don't know whether she's a Ghanaian national. She has a Ghana card. Foreigners can have Ghana card. Now we are now being told that she's married to
a Ghanaian businessman.
But that does, you can be married to a Ghanaian businessman, but that does not make you a Ghanaian.
Yeah.
If you've not gone through the process.
Yeah.
And if she's gone through the process, she's a Ghanaian up to now, and the immigration office and the foreign office have not told her, then there must be a question. A question must be asked and there must be answers. Now, when did she got married to the Ghanaian businessman, and who that Ghanaian businessman? Private issue. We can call it. But have they gone through the process of naturalizing, getting him the stay that he wants?
Yeah.
Now, whether he's a Ghanaian or not Ghanaian, that does not allow her to engage in illegality. So there are two separate things. The woman engaged in illegality. In the first place, that was 2017. She was arrested. The government president is saying he doesn't know whether
she was deported or not.
What happened for the court or for the attorney general to go and say they were not interested in the case again? Because
what happened?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. That's why yesterday, even in court, the lawyer for Aisha Wan, a father, now, apart from the on the charge sheet, I think Dr. Martin will know the term they use, those who are, but on the charge sheet, apparently, and I think that Blackwell has also published something like that, it was stated that, what do you call it? There's a person who sneaked out of the country when she was arrested and granted bail. That was one of the reasons they don't want to grant bail. Now the question: if you say someone sneaked out after the person has been arrested, lawyers can help me out. The person actually broke. If the person has been granted bail, he broke that bail terms.
He jumped bail.
Now, if they sneaked out, again, English here, we are then being told that they did not avail themselves to be prosecuted, or they actually ran from where the law can actually set its hands on them. And therefore, the natural course of action that the law should have taken, because she was not there or because she sneaked out, they could not find her. That was a charge sheet. Now, if you present her to a court, the court then will take a view. If we take a view, lawyers again can help me, that your history suggests that given the opportunity,
you jump bail.
You jump bail. You run out. You actually go into hiding, and therefore any grounds on which a bail can be granted, you have forfeited it because of your past conduct. I get it. And that's why the lawyer for Aisha Wan was so angry that no, the lady did not jump bail. The lady did not, sneak out. He appeared in the High Court to defend the client, only to be told by the Attorney General then that the country or the nation has no more interest in pursuing the case. That is different from the person sneaking out. That is also different from the person sneaking out. Now the question is, the charges that they've actually leveled against them, they will take a different tone if they were Ghanaian or whether they were national, what they call it, a foreigner. Ghanaians normally will get a bit of lighter term. What they call, those people will be jailed and then deported. Now the question of family relationship, don't forget, is enshrined in UN Convention 1948. You cannot be separating family without cause, without due cause. But you know what? If there's evidence that they've not gone through the process, that can be denied, that can be withdrawn. We've seen people who are married to British and deported. In this country.
Because they've not gone through the process to...
If the marriage took place within the Bura Halal, it can also be said that is forced marriage. That is being done convenient one. So there are a lot of grounds that come. In any case, nothing prevents the Attorney General from prosecuting Ashawan and jailing her in the country. Nothing prevents them from doing that.
Yeah, even if she is a national, she's broken the law, she needs to go through it.
Indeed. A lot of Ghanaians have been jailed.
Yeah.
A lot of Ghanaians have been jailed. So why are we finding it difficult? The person are we saying that if the person commit murder, that's the same way we're going to treat the person? And actually, let me bring your mind back to something that might be unrelated to Anshawan, but it's very, very important. You know, when the U.S. embassy or the U.S. government wanted to establish a military base in the country, you know, a lot of Ghanaians protested that the agreement that was crafted, handed to Ghana Akufo-Addo to endorse, makes Ghana a mockery state. That a U.S. soldier can act virtually, literally to say, point a gun at you, rape your wife, your daughter, and no law in the country is empowered to be able to deal with them.
Yeah.
Actually, that's exactly where we are with Ashawan's case. Osafo told us that because of the relationship that he had with China, even if the lady has committed all crimes or all manner of crimes, you should let go.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll be able to charge a U.S. citizen who has committed any crime?
No way. Hold on, I think we've got Felix on the line. We'll come to the statement that the judge made, saying that, well, he reckoned that if she's granted bail, some big hooks in the country will get her to go free or involved in the case. So now let's go to Felix. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You are lost and found.
No, I'm not lost. I listen to you every day. I listen to you and Olayomi every day. I listen every day.
Okay.
Apart from obviously Saturdays when you are not on air, but even Sundays sometimes I follow your services.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. How are you doing, sir?
I think I'm okay. Plodding on as usual.
He's now the Duke of where he is, you know. That is his new position. All right, let's go on. Now, what did you want to say, sir?
Your country and funny people who are leading your country. What are they saying now? The lady is a Ghanaian.
They say she's a national.
She's got some kind of. Well, if it's a Ghana, what were they negotiating with? Why would the Ghana government negotiate with another government regarding a citizen of their country who has a citizen of Ghana who has broken the law? Have you ever seen the British states negotiating with another country regarding a British national who has broken the law on British soil?
No.
As to whether that person should be prosecuted or not?
No, they just get on with it.
And it doesn't make sense. It's just, I mean, this is a completely useless bunch of people who are running the show in Ghana, but that's what Ghanaians like anyway. They will realize their stupidity sometime soon. I mean, this is nonsense. If the person was a Ghanaian, or the person happens to be a Ghanaian, why were they negotiating with the Chinese?
Yeah.
These young Ghanaians and Nigerian second generation boys who are making a mess of themselves in parts of London and places like that. Do you see the British government negotiating with the countries of their parents' origin?
No.
Because, period, you are British, so they deal with you. There's nothing, they don't, if you're or your parents are of Ghanaian origin, but you hold British nationality and you break the law in this country, they don't have any business discussing anything with your the country of your parents' origin. And even those who have taken up British nationality and French nationality, wherever they are, if they break the law, they are dealt with over there. They don't go back to your country of origin because you are a citizen of the country. There's no extradition arrangements to be followed or protocols, nothing. They just deal with you. So who are they telling? But look, our people have chosen stupidity as a way of living. So you can tell them this sort of nonsense, and people will believe that. Secondly, if he's not a Ghanaian, but she's married to a Ghanaian, what are the documents to show that?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Where are the documents to show that she is married? Let's even assume that it's a fake marriage or a sham marriage. Where is the evidence to that effect? And who says that because he's married to a Ghanaian, she cannot be deported? Under Jerry Rawlings, there were many foreigners who were deported out of Ghana, even though they were married to Ghanaians.
Yeah,
I have a relative who suffered that. And most of those foreigners who were deported, you know where they ended up? Most of them ended up in Lome, and the family had to travel across the border to go and see them.
Yeah.
I have one of my aunties was in that situation because the husband was, excuse my language, misbehaving in nightclubs in Ghana. You know, the Rollins had no time for these people who were trampling on the toes of Ghanaians. You know, these sort of, I don't want to go into call them names, but some of these foreigners in our country who go to nightclubs and you know they smash into somebody's car and they pull a gun, and that, you know, the Rollins had very little tolerance for such people. They were I don't know how old these guys are, but if you can remember, some of these people, they were photographs because it affected our family, so we pick up a copy of the graphic. Officials from the Ghana Immigration Service will send you right to the doorstep of the plane, and some will even be on the plane with you to your destination.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yes, because you are not only a risk to the country, but in some cases you are also a flight risk to others who are on the flight.
Yeah.
Why do you think the British government has to spend a lot of money to put all these security officials on charter planes all the way to Jamaica or Nigeria or Ghana? Why do you think these people are not put on normal flights? Because you are not only a risk to the country as they claim or they think, but you're also a flight risk when you are airborne. Because when you are being deported, that is if they think we are so stupid we don't know the difference between deportation and repatriation. When you are most people who are being deported, it is likely to be the case that they are contesting the decision for them to be deported. So sometimes they will resist right all the way onto the aircraft and give it in the aircraft. And there may be genuine reasons why they are contesting the reasons. It may be the case that they are going to a place where they think their life is at risk. So you taking them there, even though if you don't believe their argument, they see a genuine risk at stake for them going back to a country that they think some people are after them. So this saying that, oh, we don't want you to be in the country, go. Well, if they claim that she was deported or she was repatriated, the president doesn't seem to know. What is the business? I mean, what is the business of the government or the Attorney General entering the argument of nolli prosequi? They're basically saying that you are no longer interested in the case. So if you are no longer interested in the case, how then would you have deported her? Because you can only be deporting her if you were interested in the case, which means that she was not deported.
To the end. But
was she repatriated? If she was repatriated, where is the manifest? Which will show that she left the country through this border onto that aircraft.
They were saying something about Ethiopian Airlines. They're saying that she boarded the flight from gate. They mentioned some gate. What is gate 3 or something? So virtually trying to put something across to say that she was actually out of the country. No.
Well, is it Ethiopian Airlines who are producing this, or is it the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority producing this?
Oh, well, interesting. We don't know.
Because there has to be evidence that she boarded the flight. There has to be evidence that she landed somewhere else. And Ethiopian Airlines should be able to provide that evidence. That we took her from Accra, we take her from Abidjan, wherever, and we landed her somewhere there. Because you can't get on board an air flight and then you don't land anywhere, or there's no evidence of you landing anywhere.
Interesting.
Look, it's our people. You see, our people, unfortunately, sorry to be using this sort of language, but our people have chosen stupidity as a way of living. And so if you choose that way of living, anybody can tell you any nonsense, and you either accept it or just live with it. You know, it's just like your president telling the people that it's left the strategy to bring inflation down to prayers. I mean, if your brains work very well and the president tells you this, would you take that?
Oh no,
where in the world have you seen prayers bringing down inflation before?
After it's done, the inflation will come down like no man's business. God will be there.
I mean, it's just look. The dollar was not even in existence when the son or the father was on the face of this earth. There was no exchange rate. There may have been some kind of barter, trade and some coins or shekels, but many people didn't even use currency at the time because many people didn't have money to use. They didn't have wealth to have money. So how you think you're going to use prayers to bring down inflation? Well, if that were to be the case, why is Italy not having some of the best economic figures in the world? Because they have a lot of,
the Pope is
a lot of institutions to, see to the effect that a lot of people pray for the country.
Yeah.
If nothing at all, the Vatican is based in Italy. If prayers were to be the case, why is it that some of these Asian countries that don't even believe in the Bible seem to have better economic indicators? But you see, when people choose stupidity as a way of living, you can tell them all sorts of nonsense, and they will take it.
Yeah, it's true.
Because this thing that I mean, if you are a president and you don't know the whereabouts of a notorious individual who happens to be breaking your laws left, right, and center, you don't know how got into your country, you don't know whether she got out of your country, you are not even sure the country or not. Is that not crazy? Because I think this is the same country when some two individuals under an arrangement to the United States government were brought in from Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
And people started praying and calling all sorts of the powers that be in authority at the time, calling them all sorts of names. Right? Yet you are being told that we don't have a clue whether she left the country or not. We don't even know how she got into the country. She got into the country from Togo this time round. How did you know she got into the country from Togo? Did the guys at the flower border took her details and stamped, whatever they have to stamp into a document? And if they did, for her to get into the country, why was nobody notified?
Yeah.
Or did she come under, false documents?
The possibility is that they took her on an Ethiopian airplane because Ethiopia airplane, there's a sister airplane called Askai, and they moved from Ghana to Lome before Ethiopia. Okay. So most often they might just drop her at Togo, and therefore the assumption some of us will have is that they drop her at Togo, she found her way in. That's why they will be quick to say that she came to Togo, because they might have even taken her just from Ghana and drop her at Togo. Yeah. Fellas, sorry, continue.
Yeah, go on, I'm listening.
And I mean, that was the interjection I really just wanted to give.
I mean, it may be, but look,
it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. That's the bottom line.
Let maybe our country is not a serious country, so maybe that's what it is. But if you go to any of these serious countries in Europe and you are found to be involved in that sort of thing, you can be rest assured that they will have every detail the very second you left the soil of this country.
Oh yeah, of course.
Even if you decide to live on your own. You see, some of our brothers who sometimes get into these crassa issues and it gets too complicated, and then they decide that, okay, well, I'll take whatever settlement you guys want to give me and I'll leave your country. You think they just give them the money and say you can go leave the country when you wish? They will have details on you as to what date you leave the country.
Yeah.
The time, the aircraft you picked, and things like that. So even if it was the case that the government had no interest in the case, but she was allowed to, gently get out of the country, why was nobody keeping an eye as to how she got out of the country, which aircraft she got out of the country with, where she landed, at what time she landed? And we are now being told that, look, she's been around for a long while now, and the question is whether she ever left the country in the first place. But this only came about simply because she had a fracas with one of I don't know,
the landlord and one of the landlord and one of the former landlord.
And they then decided to volunteer information to the state, if I may put it that way.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that the people in the know knew of her presence all the while.
They knew. They knew.
Pathetic. I shall keep listening to you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day for the meantime.
And Archie, the other serious issue about it is we have allegations being made that Aisha One was using a car with presidential office sticker on it.
No, you don't mean.
Oh no, I mean it. The president of the what they call Small Scale Mining Association.
Yeah.
That was a direct allegation that.
Yeah, I heard that.
That was the allegation that he made, and that is why he was arrested.
Okay.
Archie, it's possible. The reason being that there's evidence today that foreigners are using cars with presidential office sticker on it with sirens. Yes, I am going to, before we end this program, I'm going to try and fetch you a video of a foreigner who was intercepted or stopped by a brave police officer. Mind you, one security officer has been interdicted because he dare search, what do you call it, the security minister Kendapa at Kumasi Airport. So he's losing his job for searching. When all these people can be searched in Heathrow, can be searched anywhere.
You don't suspect that maybe something they
the security officer is losing his job because he was his crime doing his job. He might not even know who
you are.
Right. So he is losing his job. Actually, there's evidence to suggest that people who are not qualified to use sirens, to use security tax, presidential officers are actually using them and doing everything that they can in Ghana. Now, the question therefore is, how do they come by those things? Who gave it to them? Is someone around the presidency making money? Are they selling it? I mean, what I thought is going. I think the bottom line is that the office of the president in Ghana, in my view, is a crime scene. Actually, I'm just sending you a video to the descent, and that video is actually someone who has been stopped in a V8 with what do you call it, the office of the president tag sticker on it. So no one should doubt if we say, or probably people say, the office of the president sticker was actually one car, and they knew about it. Another incident happened 3 days ago, and that's an MP, a sitting MP, who claims he went to a restaurant in Kumasi and was asked to leave his seat, he and his friend. That's an MP, a legislature.
To leave his seat?
Yes. At a restaurant, at a pub. He argued with the people. They said, no, you have to move. When they moved, they reluctantly moved. What happened was a miracle, or was something that no one should expect. A group of Chinese people walked in, and that is the seat they occupy. So basically,
oh wow,
a Ghanaian apartheid. What happened in apartheid? Actually, this is serious. It's gone beyond Galamsey. Apartheid South Africa case is now happening in Ghana. That you can go to a restaurant, you can be asked to give your seat to a Chinese. This did not only happen to any mere person, it happened to what? An MP and that's in Ghana.
Oh man.
Angie, it is going to a state where even now this Galamsey issue has become so serious to a point that houses are being dug
underneath them.
Actually, I'm going to send you another video.
I love this country.
I am going to send you another video for you to look at. The play. This is another video where thank God to a news team from UTV, a community. Then I asked myself this morning, when a friend called and asked me, Frank, what are we going to do? I told him, look, there are two solutions to this issue. One, our chiefs, who claim to be chiefs in the villages. Every village that we can think of have what we call Asafwache.
Yes.
The role of Asafwache is a defense minister. Those days when they were not organized, The Asafachers were those who organized the youth
to
go into battle. So if you are an Asafacher in a village today, and the resources that have been handed down, the stool that you claim to be swearing off to, are being destroyed, and you still carry yourself as an Asafacher, you are a disgrace. Because this time we know the state actively is involved in the crime. Everything has proven pointing to the fact that the state is complicit in this crime. And therefore, it becomes on these people. People must take now their destiny into their hands. The Asafachers in the village, and I look at this, I say, what is Asafacher? What are the youth in that village doing? Why can't they organize and chase, beat, bang, kill if need be these people out of their community? Actually, that is the only solution I see. Because if the state that you're going to complain to is in itself involved, and the video you play, you will hear commentary that they please even visit the people, get some money, and move on. If I have built a house for my mom in my village, probably that is the only resort I have where I can sleep. That's what my granddad or whatever family has. And I see bulldozers, diggers in the town, not in the forest any longer, in the town, digging for gold. Actually, that day, probably that will be the end of my life.
You know, interestingly, pertaining to the Galamsey thing, we had one of these politicians or who went to make a statement in Kumasi saying that he thinks that the Ashanti Manshia,
you talk about
and the backlash that happened there. Now, Chairman Sabusu has made a statement saying that the chiefs know. He said if they were not even the one who gave the lands out, they know that those things are going on in those parts of the world, and they are taking money for it.
Didn't made the same comment.
He did.
So
I remember.
So all they want to do, Otunfo does not support the current government. What they call it, Odike does not support the current government.
Okay.
And therefore, certain chiefs who get paid by this government to defend even the unthinkable and indefensible want to make, what do you call it, an example of an innocent man.
Oh, okay.
Actually, that is it. It's all about politics.
Interesting.
It's all about politics. But you see, it is not turning on them gradually. Because actually, for me, what I see happening in Ghana, actually, you can play the video, go on.
Wow. Interesting. Okay, listeners, I'm just loading those videos up and then we will be playing that. I think, let me make sure I play the first one, the security one, where the foreign what do you call him?
You listen to it. It's shocking. It is shocking that he was in traffic. He was this and therefore had to pull his siren and oh God.
Okay, so listen to it and I'll be with you. Stay tuned.
We use it when it's needed. Ambulance was there. It wasn't moving. I had to say I was stopping with the other people, but because no one was moving, I put on my siren. I blocked the road for him to pass, and I went after him.
Okay. Let me say something.
Just to help the ambulance to move.
Let me.
You can something. Even if you want, you can follow to West Africa, and we can check it.
I'm down. Now, there are some
major things.
Some institutions that are allowed to use the siren, like the police, the military, the prisons,
the banks,
fire service, and all that.
Yes,
bank.
I know.
Yes. Now, in which capacity are you using the siren? I want to know. In which capacity?
What do you mean by which capacity?
Do you fall between any of the categories I've given now?
No, I don't fall.
So how come you're using siren? You own this vehicle. So who fixed the siren on the vehicle?
It's the guys we called.
The sticker you see on this vehicle is Office of the President. It has no roadworthy sticker, neither an insurance sticker. And that is one of the main reasons why the car would be impounded and probably the driver of the vehicle arrested and detained until he produces whoever issued him with the sticker. Aside that, he's being charged with other offenses.
Because nkwadaa nketenkete school for nso wɔ hɔ a wɔn nso wɔn kɔ school wɔnhwɛ yi a na akɔfa yɛ nyɛ kɛseɛ etumi aba nkankan koraa sɛ nsuo tɔ kɛseɛ paa deɛ a wɔnhwɛ asɛm ebesi wɔ elibo a ɛwɔ dwaboso district mɛnsin ne mu no wɔgye efie ankasa wo efie mfimfini yɛ tu hɔ a mena donkoo ɛna wɔn kɔ ase kɔ yi aboɔ no ba na wɔn ɛbɛnyam na kyerɛ sɛ akɔyɛ ayɛ hɔ sɛm na kyerɛ sɛ mpanimfoɔ apolisifoɔ mpanimfoɔ national state coordinator ɛwɔ western north ɛsɛ ɔmo hu koraa ɛno na nkɔfo amanfoɔ mu ɔkyerɛ sɛ ahemfofoɔ no bi nso a wɔn kurom hɔ nso bi ɛhyɛ aseɛ nadmo coordinator akora a ɔwɔ dwaboso district no ɔno nso kurom hɔ ɛna ɔteɛ ne fie wɔ hɔ a ɔmo ahwɛ ato wɔn namɔn akɔ a obi a no wɔtumi ka ho asɛm ɛde ma wɔn mo nti yɛbɛdu hɔ ano deɛ na kyerɛ sɛ ɔwɔ sɛ ɔmo de ɛkyerɛ yɛn na yɛka ho yɛbɔ ho de anaa yɛka na mpanimfoɔ te sɛ dwaboso district ekuro baako a wofi ɛhɔ a na ɔkɔ prɔso kofi kurom ɛhɔ yɛfrɛ hɔ elibo kyerɛ sɛ galamsey no deɛ ɔmo si yɛ no no efie pɛɛ efie na etutu wɔ mu saa na yɛ baako adeɛ excavator bi si ha kyerɛ sɛ odwi ekuro nankasa mu odwi otu amuna dokodoko no mu akɔ down akɔ bu aboba no ɛde aba ɛno na kurom ha boys no hyia yɛn ho sɛ mo ayɛ adeɛ sɛ mabedu ha sei na enye obi anka yɛ asɛm ma yɛn nti we deɛ UTV mabedu ha deɛ mo mɔde anka yɛ asɛm ma yɛ wa ne yɛ brɛ yɛntumi nka ɔmo aka yɛ ano atum polisifoɔ mpanimfoɔ national state coordinator Kwame Tentɔ Boateng debia ɔba ekurom hɔ ɛba bɛ ɔba pɛ no de pick up na ɔba na nkɔfo na kɔgya no tu na watu ne kaa na ɔkɔ bibia nkɔso kyɛ sɛ obi antumi mbɛstɔpo ɔmo adwuma ne ma yɛn wɔnhwɛ yɛn nso nso tɔ bi a na akora bi akɔ akɔfiri mu nti wohwɛ ɛdan no koraa ɛdan no na ɔmatu akɔ ase ama ɛdan no bi koraa asake ɛwɔ hɔ na kyerɛ sɛ ɛnyɛ asɛm kuma ɔmo kyerɛ mu a bɛyɛ mfie baako ɛkɔ ni akora baako ɛkɔtɔ amena baako mu saa bɛpem dɛ mpanimfoɔ no ntumi anka ho hwɛ ma akora no ɛhwɛ ne nkwa but still now ɔmo da so ɛtu galamsey no ɛwɔ elibo hɔ etu o de ɔmo srɛ mpanimfoɔ ankasa sɔmo ma ɔmo ho so na elibo kuro no mu no adwuma na ɛkɔ so no enya de ɔman no ana abakan na ɔmo wɔ kurom hɔ no ɔmo pɛ ɔmo aka ho asɛm adeɛ ɔmo bɛbɔ no ɔmo de ama tosfoɔ ɛna ɛde bɔ ɔmo ho ban nti obi antumi nka hwɛ ɔmo aka ɔmo ano.
I'm dumbfounded.
Archie, don't be.
Gobsmacked.
Don't be. That is your country. That's where we got into. And you see, if you listen to the second video,
yeah,
the National Security Coordinator,
yeah,
drives through there.
Yeah. They did mention that.
The NADMO coordinator resides in that.
Yeah.
NADMO coordinator is part of the regional security setup of every region. Now, when there's a disaster, what is happening now?
It's a disaster already.
So, you ask yourself, and he's a government appointee. So the question that yesterday something struck me, Archie. When Akufo-Addo said it is councillors will come there, is he saying we are sitting on gold and we are hungry and therefore freedom to do anything provided it's about personal of gold?
Maybe.
Archie, yesterday I was just thinking. I said, it is the council will come there. Yeah, was he saying that under my reign we are sitting on gold and we are hungry? Whatever you do to get the gold out, it doesn't matter. Because actually, that is what it is turning out to be.
Now, have we heard of landslide? Have we heard of sinkholes? Do we know?
Actually, they are saying again, this is a town. This is a village. Town. They are saying someone has even died.
Yeah.
Kids go to school. I mean, there's another report where someone died a few days ago when a galamsey pit that the Chinese have left uncovered collapsed on him 3 days ago. Actually, that's a country you have. I don't know what we're going to do. In my view, I think it's going to be community driven, youth driven.
Yeah.
Their suffragettes will have to rise up. They have to fight for their freedom. Because for me, I say this: if this occurred in my village, if this is happening in my village, whichever means I'm going to organize some youth to arm them to fight our way to freedom. Because this is what I see. That is a battle for our survivor. This is a battle for the future of my village, my town. This is a battle for our survivor. And when it gets to push, we must defend ourselves against even the government. Because from what we've seen, from what we've heard from the audio, an appointee of the government, in this case the government, the authorities, are even part and parcel of trying to take our lives from our hands. So we will fight. If someone, no one should tell me I'm promoting violence, but Archie, that is the last resort that I think a community such as this must resort to if they really want results. It is their life.
Honestly,
it is their village. And you saw the second video.
Yeah.
About
who is he? Is he?
Actually, the bottom line is that he's a foreigner, and he told you when they asked him about the what they call it, the sticker.
Yeah.
They asked him about how he got
it. Yeah.
This in the salary says the boys. The question is, our boys at Jubilee House selling government cars.
Oh.
To foreigners. Are they renting them out? All the cars government now account all the cars that they said were stolen.
Yeah.
Where are those cars? Actually, Ghana is a crime scene, and Jubilee House is the headquarters of crime. All everything criminal.
Wow. Listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It's interesting. As I said, looking at the communities where this mining is taking place, and looking at the position of the buildings close to the holes that have been dug. I said, even without earth tremors, we see buildings collapsing. Can you just imagine if there's a little,
Actually,
if there is rain?
Yeah. And the seat in Accra, I asked myself, there's an NDC MP, I think, in that area. Why has this not come to his attention? Why has he not raised an urgent question? What has he done as an MP in that case? But he go there looking for votes.
Oh yeah, of course.
What has he done? He should be stoned should he get to that village by the people. Actually, it's gone to a point where for me now, I'll promote, very violent, radical community-driven action against some of this. If that's the only solution, that is what I feel that is happening now, because the institutions in this country, when something is happening, I have hope that the state institutions, the security apparatus, the police, the justice system, the legal system will work to seek, find, and establish the truth.
Yeah.
In our system, the security apparatus, the judiciary themselves, who should be in charge, who should aid you finding, seeking, and identifying the truth, are themselves
involved.
So, as an innocent person, a helpless man, what do I do?
Well, I think it's about time we just throw our hands up in the air and just say that we've given up.
No, we can't give up. Actually, we can't give up.
Oh goodness!
Communities will have to now go back to what they used to be and fight their way out. That is the only way. Actually, that is the only way. We relinquish and we handed over the power that we had from our communities to a central government. The central government has now taken that power, armed itself, and are now pulling guns, pointing it straight, trying to kill us with criminals. What do you expect us to do? We might not have guns, we might have catapults. We might not have guns, we might have spears.
Yeah.
We might not have guns, we might know how to breach and
just use your fist.
We might not have guns, we know how to come and touch your houses and your vehicles and other things. I'm saying communities must rise up. If it needs to get to a point where they start burning people, government. Actually, something must happen.
Unless, of course, there are no youth in that community. If there are no youth in that community, there are older people there. Are they all compromised or what?
That's a question that we're gonna ask. So I ask the chiefs. If the chiefs are not part of it, why are they quiet? Why are you a chief? Why are you an Asafache? Actually, for me, I've lost hope in the government. I've lost hope in the system. We need to go back to the people. And the people must rise up to defend us. This is a war against posterity. This is a war against the future of those communities. And if I happen to have come from that community, actually, probably I might be even been a police cell by now, because I will not allow it.
Now, I hope that maybe somebody listening to us, you know someone who comes from that community, or maybe you come from that community. We want to have your take on that. What measures and actions you've taken so far to address that issue, and maybe it has fell on deaf ears. We really want to know. We know that today our time is almost up, but just post it on our comments page on the broadcast that we've done, or tomorrow get on and let us know exactly, because this is a cause that if we don't fight it, from village A, it go to village B, go to village. By the time you say Jack, what region? We just collapse. What for what? Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Now we've got about 3 minutes. We know that the Queen is still lying in state, and those of you who want to make your way there to go and pay your homage, feel free to do so. Yes, I'm going to take you about 30 hours. You have to prepare yourself for that, and then get on with it. But let's touch on one other story from Africa Front, and then we leave we bring the program to a close. And this pertains to ECOWAS. This pertains to Ivorian soldiers who were supposed to go to Mali. Whether it was under the UN, because we know one of my siblings, my siblings is supposed to go to one of the African countries, he's a soldier there as well, and he said they were doing their training and blah, blah. So when this happened, I called him and asked him, do you know, are those authorities, the Ghanaian authorities, have they informed that country that you guys are coming in, so that you don't go there? And what happened to this ones? Because for you too, if I want to come and attack you, I wouldn't come to your national airport. Why would I do that? We land somewhere and then we can do whatever we want to do. But this is a case where the Malians have decided to arrest them, and it's been going on for more than, I think, it's gone into about 5 months now, or less than that, and these people are still there. Now they're going to have an ECOWAS summit before whatever happens to them. What's going on?
Actually, it's unfortunate that innocent soldiers who by call of duty are just obeying command are now being used for a diplomatic war between France and Mali, because all this has to do with France and Mali, nothing more than that. You know, Mali and the French authorities have been at the loggerheads. They've had dispute for some time now, but we know how close the French are still to the Ivorians, and in fact, they allow the current president of Ivory Coast, Ouattara, to still be in office because they aided him in his unconstitutional extension of his office. Now, the Malians, in my view, are looking at French having so much influence on the Ivorians and Ivorian military. Now that we've driven
the French out,
they want to use it as a backdoor. The UN, forget about UN, because UN is an assembly of, when it comes to the US, it's an assembly of what the countries that decides to pursue goals that benefit them. If not, you are willing to have authorized attack on Libya. They wouldn't have done that.
They wouldn't want to attack a country, or
they wouldn't have done that. So for me, when it comes to some of these international bodies, my stance and my view, my perception about them has never changed. The IMF, the World Bank, the UN, Archie, the Commonwealth, everything that they do, yes, they might have, but they always will play and toe the lines that help, what do you call it, their paymasters, or people who actually give them more money, France and others. In fact, that's how the world system has been structured. And in fact, all these creations are bodies that have been used to control, is control mechanism for a lot of us. So for me, we need to start. The UN must have a direct conversation if indeed it wants soldiers to go there. It must have a direct conversation with Malians. Ivorians are not the only French-speaking soldiers that we can have. If you sending them over there because of language barrier, where the French-speaking, the French-speaking countries will be better positioned to deal with, or to deal with villagers or people in that area, have a better conversation. But France should not use a back door to try and
get this presence still in Mali.
No, for me that's what I see. I've
never thought of it that way, because I've been thinking, I said, why are they doing that? Because it's under the UN. So why are they doing that?
You cannot even send a troop to a country without the consent
of the country. Country. Yeah.
So the question is, why were the soldiers there without the Malians agreeing?
Okay, let's go to, I think Felix is on. I know he wants to comment on that. Felix.
Yeah, I'll try and make it snappy. I'm afraid the solutions are not very easy. If you look at the history of countries that have gone through this sort of process, look at Latin America, for instance. For many years, native Indians use the coca leaves. It is a herb that they use sometimes to deal with nausea because of the mountainous nature of some parts of countries such as Bolivia, Ecuador, parts of Brazil, because they have sort of low levels of oxygen in some of these places like Quito and so. So they use, it's a herb that they use. Some people decided, after some very intelligent geniuses, decided that we can extract some white powder out of it, and we know what the history of that has led to in Latin America. You know, because the monies that are involved, the wealth that is involved, they're not going to move away. And it's not by accident that it seems like the governing party or members of the governing party are involved with this. We all remember the audio recording that stated that party Yinska. You remember that?
Yes.
Yes. So sometimes I've not been to Ghana for years, but those of you who go to Ghana, you see the sort of lifestyle these people have over there. How do they fund this lifestyle? These automobiles that cost well over $100,000.
Yeah.
How are they able to fund this sort of thing? How are these people able to sit down in Ghana and bring their children into private secondary schools in the UK? When people who live in the UK, it's a huge financial burden for some families where both parents are working to put even one child into a private secondary school. But some people are able to do that in Ghana. You think they sell PK in Circle and then they make money to do that?
How much
or they import to Brunei Wewu and they make money to do that? Yeah, there may be some people who do that. But if you look at people in this country, people who drive that sort of automobile, you are looking at households that possibly have a combined income of about 150,000 plus a year.
Yeah.
If you want to have that sort of lifestyle, drive that kind of automobile, live in that kind of house, send your child, maybe not in this case, that is if you are resident in this country, send your child maybe to the United States for studies and pay international student fee, that sort of thing. You got to earn a certain level of income. You can't just be earning 25,000 and then you will be able to afford that kind of lifestyle. So there are big wigs who are involved, and like Nano Tumfor said in his address, he said that in that small sample of people that he was sitting down with, about 30% were involved. But most of that 30% were opinion leaders, chiefs, government apparatchiks. So this is not going to go away. Because what is the alternative for them? Go and grow cassava? That is not an alternative. Because what we now know is that even cocoa farmers are happy to give out their land.
Yeah.
Which is also becoming a problem, not only for the quantum of cocoa seeds you are producing, but even the quality, because the chemicals that they are using are increasingly beginning to become a problem, not only for the treatment of water, but for the soil. Because the cyanide that you use in extracting gold from the rocks or from the soil doesn't go away. It's not a substance that breaks itself. It doesn't decompose. It remains there. And the thing with cyanide is that when you expose it, you can't see it, you can't smell it, and things like that. There's a technical term for it. It's escaped me, but you can't smell it. And unfortunately, in our case, we will pay the price in about 30 years' time.
Oh, yeah.
When you will go to villages and you realize that most of the young people are sick. Maybe they are suffering from one kind of cancer or the other, and they are too weak for them either to participate in galamsey or to participate in any kind of active endeavor. That is possibly what will bring this to an end. Because when you go to effectively a ghost town, if you look at most of Western Europe, when they were deindustrialized, towns and cities became ghost towns. And possibly that is what will bring this to an end. Because all these chiefs, because our chiefs, you can't rely on them. Historically, they've proven themselves to be sellouts. That's why we were colonized in the first place. So you don't expect, because most of them, they are happy to give out their land insofar as you can even give them, is it home second hand, they call it? If you can even give them a home second hand, four-wheel drive, they will take it and give you the land.
They still do
and
it.
Look the other way.
They still do it. They still do it.
So they're not gonna stop. I mean, look, these are people who were happy to give out their children even just for a bottle of whiskey or tobacco. Why do you think they will stop if they are going to give them a brand new four-wheel drive? Even if he's 75 and he'll be dead in the next 2 years, he's happy to sell out the future of his youngsters. Yes, sorry to go back about it, but yes, the chemicals that they use, they are described as carcinogenic.
Yeah.
So basically, you can't see, you can't smell, you can't taste. And I mean, I don't know, but the Third World Network, what's the name? There's this gentleman, Dr. Yao Graham. They've done a lot of research, even for the big mining companies that, by and large, one will say they sort of go by the rules. They've done a lot of research for the historical mining towns, Takwa, Obuasi, Bibiani, some of these places, Prisia. And even these big companies that abide by the rules in inverted commas, they've realized that over a period of time, for instance, some of our mothers, of our sisters, for instance, there are issues with fertility. Because, they use the same water, groundwater for, wells that they use in drinking. And these, because they don't decompose, they ultimately feed into the water table. And as you probably will know, most of our people are not connected to tap water. So they still get water from wells, they still get water from rivers for the, feeding of their livestock, for planting of crops, for normal household activities. And unfortunately, the chemicals will get into their bodies, and the chemicals will do what they do to any other human being. Sorry to say this, but it looks gloom. And unfortunately, the beneficiaries of this are the people who are leading the country, whether at local level, at central government level, and sadly, I have to add, foreigners who have always come to colonize the mindset of our leaders. Have a good day. Nice to hear of Frank. I think you were away for a little while. Am I correct?
Yes. I'm back.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Archie,
it is.
Let me end on a shocking note. The other thing that is happening with our chiefs, Felix was talking about how they've been bribed. Do you know even Archie, we are now being told that there's a network of Chinese ladies, including herself, who have slept with people in government and chiefs.
Whoa!
The naked pictures of chiefs.
I think back in the day I heard that story.
Naked pictures and videos of chiefs are in their possession. So
they might release them.
Blackmailing is somewhere. So your chief might have cheated on the queen Good morning, Prince Charles. There's a story about Prince Charles that he and Camilla had a baby in Australia.
Oh, that thing has gone on.
It surfaced that the person is calling for DNA.
We're not going to allow that.
Queen consort.
This is our king.
This is our king. King David. Good morning.
Okay. Thank you very much, Frank. Listeners, let me say once again, thank you very much for joining us. Once again, this is where we're bringing the program to a close. But it's been a pleasure coming your way once again. Those of you on the social media platforms, we salute each and every one of you, especially those of you who listen to us from Africa. We know it costs you an arm and a leg, yet you are always there listening to us. I salute you greatly for that. But don't you worry, tomorrow I'm going to be back again. But make sure that your comments come through and we acknowledge you as well once we are on. This evening, exactly at 6 o'clock, we will bring you a repeat broadcast of what took place on the BB Means Business show, and then followed by the Property Hour show as well. But this afternoon, there's going to be lots of music for you, and we hope that you enjoy. It's Miss Grill, of course. Those of you on the way to go and pay homage to the Queen as well, we say extend our greetings to her there as well. But on that note, let me say thank you until we see you tomorrow. It's bye from me, Archie, and Mr. Frank Davis in the studios, Mr. Olayomi Koiki as well, and Felix and all of you who joined in. God bless you. Bye for now. Enjoy this song. This is from the Zongo Man, and I think he sums it all up nicely. The Problem of Africa. Enjoy.